This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. It's finally here. We've been waiting all year. To talk about Xbox's biggest show, the biggest moment for most gamers. Everything is coming down to the wire this week with the Summer Games Fest, Xbox's showcase. There's a bunch of other different events that are coming up. IO is doing stuff. Ubisoft doesn't have a show, but we've got a whole bunch to talk about. This is episode 203. And welcome to the X&C Podcast, and we're going to break down everything. Mag and I have been cultivating a list, and we're going to show a lot of stuff on the show as well. Mag, how you been? How's life?
I have been very busy, but really good. And look at who joined us live in the chat. He's finally made it to a live show. Aluminum54. There you go, buddy. He just said, oh my God, I made it to a live show. Congrats on making it to the live show, bud. I am doing good. Very, very busy. Lots going on. Lots going on with the channel. Lots going on at work and personal stuff and whatever. Just going nuts, dude.
But good news for your channel, which you should share.
Yes. After 5 months of launching the channel, I am finally monetized, and I am now a registered business and a registered partner of YouTube. So ready to rock. So what I'm going to do is next week, I'm going to have a 2-hour podcast of me just sitting there, not saying a word. And I want everybody from this chat to put $100 super chat each. And I'm just going to sit there and collect it. That's it. That's the whole show. It's going to be like,
that'll be amazing.
Like Seinfeld. It's going to be Seinfeld for YouTube. I'm just going to sit there for 2 hours like this, drinking my water like this.
Just doing nothing. Yep.
And I'm not even going to acknowledge the super chats. I'm just going to stare at them.
Thanks,
joking
Aluminum.
aside,
We appreciate you.
Listen, man. Just joking, obviously. But I got to tell you, I couldn't do it without any of you guys. All of you. Every single last one of you. Colt, the chat, everybody else has been there, supporting me and everything else and watching the videos and subscribing and doing all that stuff and leaving me wonderful comments. And even the comments we disagree on, but they've all been respectful. That's the cool thing. It says, Meg, I think you're wrong about this, that, and the other. I think this, and this, but cool, man. I love your videos or whatever, right? That's how you do it. You could disagree with people and still be happy and supportive about it. And that's a good thing about this, especially this chat particularly. And then of course our community at large, right? So it's great, man. But anyways, other than that, been doing a lot of gaming too and a lot of speculation. Not hearing a whole lot about the Xbox showcase except for, little whispers here and there. Some other news is starting to leak out from Microsoft, and I'm trying to get my grubby little mitts on it. And when I get that info, then we'll talk. But we have a nice little speculation show this evening, brother. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I should definitely say that about mid-May we get a lot of leaks for the Xbox showcase, and so far there have been no leaks. So if you're tuning in tonight and you want to be excited and surprised about Sunday, there really aren't any leaks other than, like Mag said, a few whispers of what probably will and won't be there. But it's really just speculation and some guesstimations and a little bit of inside info that really won't hurt anybody. If you're really excited about that, I think that's important. But I want to give a shout out to KY Bob, who's in the chat, and I was working with him. You should check out his podcast. He's on Wednesday evenings, and that's Game Set Live. And I was talking to him about his podcast, and they talk about a lot of the news. So shout out to him for being a longtime supporter of the show, a good friend, and a great person to game with and all that stuff. So I have been playing a lot of nothing. I've been still kind of messing around with the usual games. And I got back into Fallout 76 and was trying to mod the heck out of it, but I've just kind of been biding my time until the big announcements. We're going to get a ton of new games and things you've never heard of are going to get announced over the next few days. So it's going to be really exciting. I think people are really going to be digging their teeth into that. So,
Colt,
yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you happy that we aren't getting leaks? Because I sure as hell am.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, like an hour before the show. I was like, there's this one game I think it's not going to be there, and then this one that I think is going to be there. And I'm like, normally I get to go in with, I say like 20%, maybe 25% of the games I'm pretty sure are going to show up, and I'm just waiting to see when they're going to be there. And then I'm like, I kind of like knowing ahead of time. That way my expectations can be more tempered. But I'm good right now with the kind of going in blind. I just sit back, and I feel like half the games Xbox has in the works, we know they're going to show them. And then the rest is going to be just a total surprise like it is every year either way. So how about you? How are you feeling about that?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, I'm actually happy that we're not hearing too much, and I don't want the whole thing spoiled. I mean, like, we talked about it last week. I talked about it on a couple of other shows I did last week, where I was like, when the developer direct came out, I knew the whole damn show, like, literally months in advance, including the Ninja Gaiden thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The new game plus the shadow drop of Ninja Gaiden Black there. And so, like, we knew all that stuff. So when you're watching it, you're basically just waiting for what you've been told to happen. Does that make sense? And so you're like, just sitting there like, well, it's kind of anticlimactic, right? In a way where you're sitting there and you're like, all right, you got your bowl of popcorn and you got your drink and you're sitting down. You're like, all right, let's watch this thing. And you're watching and you're like, okay, so when is the thing that so-and-so told me about? That's not fun to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know.
It's not fun to me when I'm just waiting. Like, even when they did the Blade trailer in the Game Awards, we heard about it like 6 months before that the Blade trailer was coming to the Game Awards, and we were watching the Game Awards saying, "Oh, I wonder when they're going to drop the trailer. Is it going to be in hour 1? Is it going to be in hour 2 or whatever?" And so you're sitting there with no anticipation. The only anticipation is of knowledge you already have, and that kind of sucks. Now, obviously, tonight we're going to talk about are very educated. This is a house of learned doctors. Are very educated guesses of, and of course, our deductions of what we're going to see at the show. Some are extremely obvious. Some shots in the dark, or just like wishful thinking. Hopiums and copium, not copiums, hopiums and wishful thinking. I think that's great, but I don't know, man. Let's talk about. Well, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, first we should talk about the Xbox handheld, because you and I have been talking about this device for at least a year. Well, more than that, because Phil said they were going to do an Xbox handheld at IGN Live exactly a year ago. So we've been talking about this on the show for well over a year. And we've talked about the ROG Ally Xbox is coming, and then this new Xbox handheld was sidelined the middle of last week. I think it was Wednesday. And we both made videos on it. More and more as I've dug into what's going on with the official Xbox console-like handheld that we believe is going to come with a dock, is that if Xbox sidelines something, they're more likely to never return. And I wanted to give my opinion on that, because we don't know what Xbox is going to do or Microsoft plans to do with the handheld, other than them saying they're going to sideline it because of the Windows 11 gaming situation is far under what Steam is offering. Steam offers a better ecosystem and performance measure on their platform, and Xbox is behind the curve, which is really ridiculous. And in my weekly news last week, I was like, they're the Xbox and Microsoft are the bastions of gaming on Windows PC. It's their baby, and they're getting trounced by Valve. And of course, Valve doesn't have Copilot and all this 365 crap on it. But still, Xbox should have a handle on high performance on their console, or for their handheld. So with Xbox right now, it's more likely that they are giving themselves 6 months or a year delay on the Xbox handheld, and that will just push them into a moment when Microsoft leadership or Xbox will say, you know what, let's scrap it. Let's just focus on the console. Let's focus on gaming PC, on the PC app on Xbox. And let's just move forward from there. We've got a lot to take out from that. Another thing I have to add into that is that Xbox said Phil Spencer and Xbox have alluded to in the past that they want to bring all of your games over to console. So there's this universal compatibility issue that's being worked behind the scenes. That's not official, meaning the short version, meaning that all of your games you bought on Xbox Series X that are everything is available right now on your Series S or X should come forward and be playable on nearly any device as long as you're signed into your Xbox account. Like, that's the hope and dream that Phil Spencer and Jason Ronald's team are trying to come up with. So I think it's compatibility. I think it's also Windows 11 optimization. And the end of that speech is, I can see Xbox giving up on the handheld completely and relying on other platforms to do that for them. And even if the handheld thing blows up in the next couple of years, Xbox will already be too far behind to actually make a dent and make a moment in that market. That's where I'm sitting, Meg. What you covered this in your video. How are you feeling about the Xbox handheld? What's its demise?
I pissed off a lot of people with my video, and a lot of people watched it, and a lot of people were like agreeing or disagreeing. I just put Xbox handheld canceled. The reason why I put that is not for clickbait. I didn't do that for clickbait. I wasn't looking for views, because some people did like, you clickbaiting, fill in the blank of like all these horrible things. And I'm like, I really didn't do that to clickbait. I spoke to somebody over there and I said, what the hell's going on over there? And there is no intention to return to the handheld, the dedicated handheld. You have to be very clear here, because third-party handhelds, including the one is still coming out this year. I made that very clear in like minute 3 of my video, saying it's still coming out this very year. We're talking about a dedicated one made by them specifically. So like, like the people gotta, just read through the word salad and and find like I put it on.
Why, when the thumbnail's all you need?
I know it pissed a lot. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that they're not going to revisit it. What they're going to do, just like you said, they have 3 teams going to be focusing on the Windows 11 and going to be improving that in order to be able to not combat Steam, but to be able to have a similar quality to what Steam OS is doing. And they're going to continue to have third-party handheld support. Now, why does this make sense? First of all, I'll tell you something. If you go by like a whole list of logic or logistics, as it were, this wasn't going to come out for another 2.5 years. And then people are like, no, it's sidelined. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Sidelined. Now, if it's sidelined 2.5 years and then it's sidelined, which means it's not going to come out for 3.5 years, maybe 4.5 years, because it was sidelined from the 2.5-year release window that they had. So now you're talking about 3.5 years down the road. You see what I'm getting at? 3.5 years down the road, 4 years down the road. Who knows how long they would push it off? But by that point, I think this is very much like Zune. You're just going to stop talking about it and then just forget about it. Sweep it under the rug, let it go. People move on to the next story. They'll never revisit it. It's kind of like when Disney announces a Star Wars trilogy and then never talks about it again. And then you're like, hi, Disney, it's been 4 years. Where's the other Star Trek trilogy that's supposed to be made by the Game of Thrones guys? Right? And it just disappears. And the point is, also, now here's another one. The other reason, why waste millions of dollars on R&D, production, manufacturing, shipping, and then, you know what I mean? And then and everything else in between. And then programming this thing on top of everything else, and compatibility and all the other issues, and not have to deal with that, but just deal with what Microsoft does best, which is software and services. That is what Microsoft made their trillions doing. They've been doing it since the 90s, and they will continue to do so. And so they say, whoa, pump the brakes on that. And now we're not going to get into the actual console business. We're talking about the handheld specifically. So they're going to say, focus on the software and the services. Let the others put together a product. Now, another thing is you have to look at this market. They didn't dive into the VR market because the VR market is considered niche. If that's considered niche, then this is considered the niche of a niche of a niche of a niche. Because the most popular handheld right now is, of course, the Steam Deck. And the Steam Deck is just over 4 million sold. The Asus ROG Ally is only at 800,000 units sold as of last Thursday, I checked. They didn't even crack 1 million. What is an Xbox handheld going to sell? Right? So you start looking at it. I didn't mean that as a slight. I didn't even make that. I didn't mean that as a slight.
I mean, even the Steam Deck is only like 3 million or 5 million sold, but they're making money off of those things, but they're not everywhere. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. It's funny. You said between 3 and 5, and I'm like, actually, it's 4. So you got right in the middle. But either way, you're right. So now you look at something like that, and you start looking at, well, okay, so what are they going to sell? They're looking at that too, saying, okay, well, guys, if the ROG Ally didn't even sell 1 million units, the Steam, which is obviously the superior product out in the market as we speak right now, and of course has the better operating system, they barely cracked 4. What's the point? Well, you know what I mean? And the thing's not going to be cheap. So now you're really like saying, okay, just make the service, make the software, make it great. And listen, it's as clear as day what they're doing. They literally told you we are taking dedicated teams to improve Windows 11 for operating system to not to combat, but to be as comparable as SteamOS. They are literally telling you without not telling you.
That's super important because it's most likely that your next Xbox console that you're going to buy in 27 will be powered by that same cultivated, better Windows 11 experience. I saw some people in the chat saying that you can't cancel something that hasn't been announced. Well, if you're waiting for the Xbox handheld, you're not going to get one if that's the truth. If that thing's not coming out, it's a double-edged sword. The handheld could actually be, if it got canceled or sidelined, that could actually be very helpful for Xbox moving forward. We don't know if this is a reality of, there was the problem about Xbox makes a handheld, PlayStation's making their own handheld. Will it be holding back the premier console? Like if PlayStation 6 also comes with a handheld, is it going to be holding back games like the Series S did? If you believe that rhetoric, then the handheld in the future would be that device that could hold back games because they have to meet the requirements on a smaller handheld that's less powerful, while also trying to give you the best experience on the Xbox Series V and the PS6. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying that. That's what's going to be called in the future. There isn't really a lot more to beat the dead horse with this handheld. This news is about 5 days old, and everybody has like poured over it. Check out Mag's channel and his video about that. Check out my video. I cover for about 5 or 6 minutes about what's going on with the handheld, and then I talk about Mind's Eye, but we appreciate that. But what we're really here today is to talk about the game showcases moving forward. Is there anything else that you want to air the dirty laundry of the handheld?
No. There's no dirty laundry. I know exactly what they're doing, and so do you, and so most people do. Most people understand what's actually happening, and that's fine. What they're doing is actually perfectly fine. It makes perfect sense. On top of the fact that they are now seeing great dividends with their third-party publishing arm going out there, expanding their product elsewhere without hardware, right? And so they're seeing this, and they're like, well, why we keep doing something that people don't want or not even asking for? Or maybe it's, like I said, such a niche product. What's the point? Focus on services and great quality software. That's it.
Yeah.
And you will make your billions of dollars. Their revenue, by the way, I just like to point out right now, their revenue is up 5% in the gaming market as of this week. Okay. And the reason why? Not hardware. Hardware has tanked through the floor. And that's the other reason. If you're seeing their hardware tanking through the floor and you're going to release a $700 handheld, are you insane?
I know.
Right? Did Phil go in and pull Ronald's beard there and be like, listen to me, mister? He goes, we're not doing this. Right? And the other thing, there's going to be a whole bunch of super chats about we're going to have to revisit this several times. But, the other thing is I'd like to ask a theoretical question or a hypothetical for everybody is this. If it didn't exist, then what exactly did they sideline? They didn't
That's true.
And I know as a fact it exists. They didn't sideline a figment of their imagination.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway. You can't cancel. It wasn't announced, and then they announced that they're sidelining the Xbox handheld. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think of it that way.
I blocked a guy on Twitter who was a total jackass.
Really?
Just going off. Oh, dude, he was going off, calling me all these horrible names. And then I said to him, I said, it's funny because I listen to everybody's show. I support people who have four people in the chat or 1,000 people in the chat. I watch everything, Xbox, PlayStation, and all the guys in between. And it's funny when I get into some of those chats, they're like, Meg is here? And I'm like, of course I'm here. I listen to everybody. I support the community. And I've seen some of those toxic people in those chats. And I said, it's funny. I saw you on so-and-so show. And you were more than happy to listen to them talk about the Xbox dedicated handheld for 2 hours. You were okay with that. But as soon as you hear that it's canceled / sidelined, now it doesn't exist. I go, so what were you listening to for 2 hours? Right? It's wishful thinking. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Jacob Tupua in the chat.
Tupua, yeah.
I can't. Sorry, I'm trying to say it properly, dude. You've been on fire tonight with jokes, man. First of all, he told me I got to start selling my bathwater on the channel now that I'm monetized.
Bathwater soap. Yeah,
the bathwater. So, and then of course Maverick is. He says, "Mag, you coming to LA?" And I'm like, "No, I got renovations at the house this year. I can't come." And then of course Jacob has to chime in and goes, "You finally finished the dungeon." And I'm like, yeah. I've been testing it on Dealer for the last year, but it'll be a little bit more comfortable. Dealer will have running water as of this week. So
with the two chains on the wall. Yeah.
And he said he gives his thumbs up to everybody in the community, but running water will be coming to Dealer very shortly. Let's talk about something else, buddy.
I love that. I don't. For the first time, I didn't grab like a whole list of everything that had happened this week because you and I have a long list of games to go over. That we're going to compare a list, and while we do that, before we get started with Xbox Showcase, the wild card is Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest.
Yes.
I don't believe, this is just me, this is my personal opinion. I don't believe that, sorry if my AC's loud, it's really warm in here. I don't believe that there's going to be much Xbox representation at Summer Games Fest on Friday, this coming Friday. I just don't think Xbox needs to or cares to or wants to. There was, I guess I'll ask your opinion about this, Mag. A lot of people are saying, well, they can use this moment to showcase games that are coming to the PlayStation. And I'm like, well,
I have an argument about that, but finish your thought, brother.
I don't know. I don't really have much more to say than that, than other than like, I don't believe Xbox would show the Starfield announcement with the new DLC at Keighley's show. Like they're going to pack their show up and at least try and repeat how great last year's was, which is going to be nearly impossible. And I don't believe it will be as great. It's impossible. It was amazing.
Really? You don't think so?
I don't know. I just think that the showcase was like for most people, it was like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. And the leftover games that are coming, hopefully they show really well. There's just some games, and we'll get into it when we get into the list of Xbox games that I'm a little bit worried about, that I'm concerned about. There's a lot to cover, but what do you think about Summer Games Fest? What were you going to say?
All I was going to say is this, and this is going to be a preface for what we're going to be talking about with the Xbox showcase. Seeing that the showcase is happening a day later, or 2 days later, because isn't the one Friday? There was one Friday afternoon.
Summer Games Fest is Friday. Yeah.
Right, in the morning for you, but 1 p.m. Eastern for me, I believe. 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 4. And then there's another one on Saturday, which showcases some other games. I can't remember which one that was. I'd have to look that up. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I have to look that one up. But the thing is, if you've got your own showcase, literally a day later, 2 days later, why the hell would you bother giving Keighley anything? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean,
I wouldn't want to say it that way either. Yeah, I don't mean it that way either.
Save the thunder for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I says, well, let's put it in our show, obviously, and not give him everything. However, I did hear this, whether this is true or not. I did hear a little birdie talk about that Keighley's got some actually really great surprises this year, and he's actually been pushing further and further for a much better show than last year. So he said
last year was horrible. I think he averaged it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He averaged what? No, go ahead.
I don't remember, but I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, not at all. You were saying about last year's show being
last
awful.
year's show. I think it was a C or a D, like in the voting. If I was going to ask anybody if you remember what his grading was, like he says, "What do you give today's show?" And it was pretty bad. Sorry. So he has to step it up.
So apparently the word is that he actually did a lot of work this year, and he stepped it up and got some great reveals to be going at the show. What they are, no idea. I could speculate, most certainly, but we'll get into that. But now, the thing is, I wanted to preface before we get into the Xbox showcase, is that this is actually, I was driving and I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. This actually is a lot more important and bigger, and Microsoft damn well knows it. And that's why I think these shows are going to surprisingly going to get bigger, and they're going to be becoming more brash, and they're going to be showing more and really pushing the envelope. They've already had a great start to the year so far, and I think that they're going to really accentuate this, not just because they're doing well, right, from their front or whatever on the Game Pass side and the engagement side, the third party stuff, they now have to impress PlayStation players who are going to be buying those same games at $70, soon to be $80. So you've got to give those non-Game Pass people a reason to spend $80, right? So think about that. So you're trying to impress them. You're trying to impress the Switch 2 players. You're not going to get all the Switch, not all the games are going to Switch, just some of them. And then, of course, on top of that, you've got the Xbox fans, then you've got the PC fans, and then, of course, the Game Pass subscribers, both on the console and PC. So you're not just marketing this to one group anymore. You're now marketing it for the entire video game industry. That's why this show is now the biggest thing of the year. It is now its own E3 because you are now presenting your wares to the entire industry. And that is why it's so, and they damn well know that that's what's happening because their future hinges on success, not only on their platforms, but on the success on the other platforms. And if you don't, and if the people don't buy those games at 70 and $80, you know what I'm saying? You see what? Because they don't have a subscription service, so they're gonna have to buy those games.
They're gonna have to pay full price. And all eyes were on Xbox last year because of how much they've done over the past couple of years since they got Bethesda, and then they were getting Activision. People have been watching the Xbox showcase, even if they weren't Xbox fans, because with Xbox, if you really wanted the game and you hated that box with the Xbox logo, you could just get it on PC. And you could just circumvent that box that just puts the chill up the back of your spine and makes you call people names on Twitter.
But you see now, those non-Xbox people will be watching even more so because now they have access to those games. And
they're invested.
So
yes,
right. So now you're invested because now this has become an Xbox, a PC, a PlayStation, and Nintendo showcase all in one. This is a much bigger deal. And of course, now they're really going to start pushing that third-party publishing arm. And as a result of that, they got to really produce, right? They got to represent. Really got to put on a show. And they got to represent. They got to put on a hell of a show. It's great.
Yeah, they do. I just don't know if they can match last year because it was nearly perfect. DeMarco Dude says,
think so? I think it's going to be better.
Okay, well, maybe I'm erring on the side of for the judgment there, but DeMarco Dude in the chat says, I care about Summer Games Fest. Am I the only one? No.
I care too.
Summer Games Fest has had a rough couple of years, but every time he does that show, he showcases some game from some studio that we're not always talking about. He's always got a few games there where you're like, I'm interested in that. And I think last year it was Black Myth Wukong, like really surprised people. There's always a couple games, and that's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. Not the big reveals from Square or some big reveal from some big studio. I'm looking forward to Jeff Keighley's like, here's a passionate team that's making something that's going to blow your face off. And I think you're going to see that at Summer Games Fest. The only thing that we have like to talk about from Summer Games Fest is the adjacent stuff like IO Interactive is doing. They just announced today they're doing a show and they're going to have Hitman, which is a big fan favorite for Red Wolf, a friend of mine, and Mind's Eye, which we won't even get into tonight. That's a whole other can of worms. We'll just let that game come out. What's the Metascore going to be on Mind's Eye? I think we talked about that last week.
I'm thinking 71,
I think
72, maybe 73. Really think it's going to be that low? I think it might be low 70s.
I'm still giving it all its opportunities and chances for me to be surprised. I'm like right there. I just might buy it because I care about games more than anything else. And the other game that they're going to show from IO is the new James Bond game called First Light.
Yes.
Do you know anything?
Right.
Like, what can you speculate about the new James Bond game? Because the last one we got was 15 years ago, and no one cared. It was like a 360 era title, I think.
I like those ones. I like those titles. The ones that they came out with. Like,
I like Quantum of Solace. It was the first person shooter GoldenEye reboot or whatever. I think it was. You guys remember that one?
Yeah. I played some of those, like those third party, like, or not third party, the third person like, action adventure.
Yeah.
The third person one, like that was the not
Quantum of Solace. It was like the Splinter Cell Conviction ripoff, and I loved it. I you remember it. You marked and execute.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they also had that one Pierce Brosnan. I was just thinking of Mobland. Pierce Brosnan, the ones they had a couple like third-person action adventure games, whatever. It had like a bunch of celebrities were in the game too. When you're like, oh my god, and like, yeah, dude, like Denise Richards is here, and like all these other people were like in the game. I can't remember which one that was. Someone in the chat will definitely remember because the chat is amazing. And they always find out this stuff for us. But yeah, it's pretty wild, man. It's Filippo Russi from Brazil.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening, buddy. Thank you for listening.
You for being
we
here.
appreciate it. Yeah, so I hope it's something like that. Like a little bit of, I mean, we'll get into that later. But we're going to get a little Splinter Cell-y, you know, but I think it's going to be third person.
Like there's things like Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk for the Switch 2 is going to get shown on the stage. Like, here's what it looks like on Switch 2. Who cares? And then Death Stranding is going to get a big trailer. Like Kojima's been working that up because that game comes out in like 3 weeks. It comes out like really close to Mind's Eye. Do you think Splinter Cell's reboot is going to be at Keighley's show or later?
Well, hold on. It could go either way.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
You can go either way. Keighley might get it because he has some surprises.
Yeah.
But hold on. Hear me out, folks. It's also been synonymous with Xbox. Because those games came out on the OG Xbox.
And
was it exclusive for a time?
Exclusive.
They were exclusive.
Yeah, they were.
Exclusive.
Yeah, Beer Baron. We would laugh and be super happy. He said, watch Mind's Eye get a 94 meta. I would be so happy. Oh, so much haters.
Think that now, so Splinter Cell has quite a colored history with Xbox, right? It was synonymous with the early Xbox days on the OG Xbox and the 360, and that's where I discovered it. Way back then. I think it was on the 360. I can't remember which one I played on. And then it ended up coming out for PlayStation. So maybe, just maybe, they may show it on the Xbox stage. Because they are going to show third-party stuff too. Let's face it. They do that. They did it last year too. Didn't they? Did they not show Snake Eater there last year as well on the Xbox stage? Because I think it showed up on both. I think PlayStation State of Play had Snake Eater on it, and I think Xbox also had it. So they both had a trailer. It's at their respective shows.
It's hard for me to remember the third-party stuff because I am like painstakingly grabbing all the Xbox stuff for that coverage. But I remember like a couple years ago, Star Wars Outlaws got premiered on there. We're like, whoa, it looks really cool.
I think that we might. So I think Splinter Cell will show up at one of the two. So I mean, obviously one of the two. There's only two, but I mean, it could go either way because of what I said. Maybe Keighley got his hands on it because we did hear that he's got some great surprises for his show. And like I said, with a long history of being on Xbox and of course the early exclusivity of the games, maybe they worked out a deal too. So you never know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect a Game Pass day one announcement for a Splinter Cell remake, but I would expect them to maybe have like some kind of a marketing deal or something like that.
Same.
I can't see them doing a Game Pass deal for a game of like that, but that's a possibility, man. And then of course there's other stuff that we could be thinking about. I don't know how far along they are, but you know they've got the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes that are going on right now. I don't know if those are ready to show. Could be a little early for that. Maybe we get to see a deep dive on, maybe not a deep dive, but maybe like a 3-4 minute actual gameplay trailer of Snake Eater because that's coming out in August.
Yeah, it's coming out real soon. Maybe we get another. We've seen gameplay, but maybe we get an final like a big trailer for Judas, which is the BioShock successor from Ken Levine. We have 20 to 30 seconds of gameplay from last year. The game was set for 2025. Maybe Judas is a third-party, multi-plat, not third-party, but a multi-plat that we get at Summer Games Fest. It's really it's hard to say what could be at Jeff Keighley's show because he typically has about five really big games, and then he has a bunch of smaller games and a bunch of indie stuff. Then he does put on a pretty decent show. Last year's was pretty bad overall, but
it wasn't impressive.
Yeah,
it wasn't impressive. But listen, the guy's trying to improve it. I mean, look what he's done with the Game Awards. I mean, slowly, but people could say whatever they want about the Game Awards, but guess what? All the people that are smack talking him, they're all watching it. So, you know what I mean? He wins, right? Isn't that the point of it? Is get the people to watch it, and people are tuning in to check it out. So he's doing a much better job across the board with that. But that being the case, I'm not really sure what we're going to get out of him. I still think that I still think we're going to get some of that. Death Stranding 2. When does that drop? Is that the end of the month?
Like the 26th. So yeah, Kojima's
so we're
already
gonna see
prepared
Death
like the
Stranding.
whole thing for that. Yeah.
Okay, so you know you're going to get Death Stranding at Keighley as well. I think you're going to get some Snake Eater,
How about this?
like deep dive footage. Yes.
Do you think Square Enix would take this moment to say, we've got Final Fantasy 16 and 7 coming to Xbox and Nintendo Switch 2? Or do you think Xbox, according to the rumors, does Xbox have that on their docket for their showcase? Because I think, I would say that's probably more likely on Xbox's showcase.
Well, dude, it was supposed to be announced back in March. I mean, we were hearing about that way back in January.
And it got sidelined.
Got pushed. Oh, got sidelined. Yeah, no, not that sideline, folks. This is actually coming out. Yeah. Anyway, we heard about that, and it was the partnership program that was supposed to happen in March, and then it got pushed to April, and then it was pushed to an undetermined date, which to me sounded like, well, that sounds like Summer Game Fest.
I'm
you say
pretty
undetermined
sure
date, that means Game Fest.
Yeah, Jacob Tupa says, I'm tired of waiting, holding my breath for Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure that...
just play it on PlayStation.
Well, for the announcement, I'm pretty sure that announcement is going to be next week. It'll either be in the Keighley's or it'll be at Showcase because, you know, Nate the Hates talked about that. That's been going on for a long time. What you're looking at... What's that?
I made videos about that 4 months ago, dude.
I know, I did too.
Like 4 months ago, like because 16 and then Rebirth, not Final Fantasy 7 remake, and then Rebirth like later, early 2026.
Yeah.
Right. So we talked about a long time ago, but anyway, sorry. Go ahead. Go
on. What I have on the overlay here is I put together about an hour and 20 minutes, handcrafted footage. I put together all of the possible games that Xbox has shown, so there's no spoilers. It's like this is actual trailers and footage and gameplay of stuff that's probably going to be shown at Showcase or very, very soon. So Mag and I are going to talk and break down our list. I looked at all of Xbox Studios. I looked at Global Publishing. I looked at Clobro's like graphic infographics. I looked at my roadmap, reportings, and just tried to come up with everything that we can talk about so we have a good idea of what's out there and what needs to be shown and what's missing. And the first thing you're looking at right now is Halo Studios' new project. And Halo has not been at Xbox's showcase in 5 years. And I was looking back, Mag, last generation, we got a new Halo game almost every year. It was so funny. In fact, in Halo's career, they've had almost a game every single year. Now, this footage is going to get ahead of me because we're just getting started, but it will loop as we talk. Halo Combat Evolved 2001, 2004 was Halo 2, 2000 and gosh, you guys have to help me remember. Halo 3 was 2007, almost every 2 years. ODST was 2009, 2010 was Reach, 2011 was Halo remake of the Combat Evolved. 2012 was Halo 4. 2014 was Halo Master Chief Collection. 2015 was Halo 5. So Halo's been long overdue. They're working on this remake in Unreal Engine 5. I'm not even excited about the remake in Unreal Engine 5. I've already played the game. I feel like the anniversary update's good enough. It makes the game look great for the 2010s or whatever. But do you think, Mag, that Halo Studios is going to represent at the showcase?
Yes, I do.
Sorry, that's a lot to say.
You think
it's time?
Yeah, no. Something is going to happen. They got 3 projects in the works right now, Halo Studios. Which one they decide to show, I have no idea. I don't know how far along this remake is. Is it a remake or a remaster? Because like even like, for example, Oblivion was we kept calling it a remake. It's not a remake.
Yeah.
It's a remaster in a different engine. So that's a whole different story. Like Resident Evil 4 remake is a remake. They literally made that from the ground up. That's a whole different story. So we're going to have to call this a remaster because I don't think that they did that with this. I think that they're giving it the Oblivion treatment, which, by the way, is fantastic because if you got the hardware for it, damn it, is it hot? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
I think
good.
I think it'll be great. So let's call it a Halo remaster. You got that plus the mainline game plus an offshoot game, right? So they got those 3 things going. I don't know which one they're going to show. My guess, if you want to make the biggest splash, is that you do the Halo remaster at the show and you announce it for all systems. Just like you did with the Gears Reloaded. You announced it for PlayStation, PlayStation 5 Pro, Nintendo Switch 2, Xbox, PC, Game Pass day 1. And you announce it for everybody there, just like you did with Gears Reloaded, which we'll get into in a minute because I think Gears Reloaded is also going to be there. But we'll talk about Gears after. And then what you do from there is you introduce the world to it and say, I mean, not that the world doesn't know what Halo is, but you get into there and say, okay, guys, this is our first offering.
Generation in. Yeah.
Get you excited for what's coming up. More on that later this year or whatever.
Okay, Mag,
you know what I'm saying?
Do you have a list of games that you think are going to be at the showcase or what you're expecting or predicting or want to see?
You want to just go back and forth like one each?
Yeah. I was going to ask you to give me your next one on the docket. I've got Halo Combat Evolved. I'm calling it a remake. Mag's calling it a remaster.
Whatever it is. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't know. What do you got, Mag? What's next on the docket?
Let's go with the obvious, and then we'll go into the fun ones later. The obvious, Call of Duty. Everybody keeps forgetting that they own they don't forget, but no one's talking about it, that they own Call of Duty. And what better time to show it is at the game show. I think what they do is they open with Call of Duty. I think that'd be a way to open the show. Again, it's for everybody. Everybody gets excited for it, whatever else. And it was like, oh, this is what's happening this year. It's the rumored Black Ops sequel to Part 2. Is that if I remember correctly? So it's not a direct sequel to Black Ops 6. It's a sequel to Part 2. So it's kind of a pre-sequel.
They're calling it.
We don't know 100%.
They're calling it Black Ops 7 right now. And Holly, that blue number, who might be in the chat.
Holly, where is she?
She made her first video on the new Call of Duty, and apparently it's modern. Like, it's bringing back wall running and jetpacks, and I'm showing Infinite Warfare because that looks awesome.
I did hear about wall jumping. Now, that being the case, that doesn't sound like a sequel to Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 took place in the 60s and 70s.
I think it's a sequel to Black Ops 6 or 5. There's Holly. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a future Call of Duty yet again. So I guess that's where it's at. I haven't dug into it too much other than watching her video and check that out. If you go to her name on there, it'll take you over to the channel and you can mark that for later.
Go check her out, man. Go check her out.
So
yes, so I think Call of Duty will make a big appearance. I think it'll open the show. That's just my call. I might be wrong. But I think that would be the way you open the show. Start off strong, show a big title like that. Everybody gets it, right? So it's a big third-party game, this and that. And then go into it a little bit, and maybe after the show they could be like, oh, if you want to know some more information, we're gonna have a bunch of NFL players playing online over in the corner like they did last year,
right? Yeah,
and a bunch of like 400-pound guys with like little tiny controllers in their hand playing Call of Duty. They'll do something like that, and maybe have a little bit of like a little showcase later, not a showcase, but like a little expose on the game later. But they show the big trailer, announce the title, get it out there. That's how they open the show. That's just my call.
Ooh, that is a
Call
good
of
opener.
Duty, isn't that what they did last year? Didn't they open with Black Ops 6, or am I mistaken? I thought they did, but maybe, like I said, maybe I'm wrong.
I was talking to a friend today, and I'm like, I really don't remember. Somebody said it in the chat, I don't remember the show last year. I don't remember very many specifics. I just remember all these games, and I couldn't tell you what opened. I couldn't even remember if Sarah Bond or Phil were on the screen at the intro. I couldn't remember that. I was trying to remember, is Sarah Bond going to rep Xbox this year? Will it be Phil, or will it be both of them? Maybe it'll be Aaron Greenberg with his hacked Twitter account where he's spouting off racial slurs. Oh, Aaron's like, and knowing Aaron's just like, what's going on? Ah, geez. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's not me. And I'm like, man, I should do that. I should write something really horrible and go, hey, my account got hacked. But no.
See here. Like I said, Brand the Dawn 36 Mag, Black Ops 2 wasn't in the 60s, bro. Weren't there levels in Vietnam?
There were flashbacks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, like I didn't mean the whole game was in the 60s, but I mean,
no. Black Ops 1.
Don't you remember
Black Ops 1 was the game that took place during the Vietnam-ish era, I think.
Was it?
It's been a long time. Yeah, it was. And then 2 was the future
See what
one.
happens when you get old, folks?
Yeah.
See what happens when you get old? You remember the one where they're playing Russian roulette? Was that the first one or second one? I thought that was the second one.
Meg, I don't know. I've played all of the campaigns except for World at War and
that's it. I give up.
And Pikachu.
I'm not podcasting anymore. I'm out of here.
We're too stupid for you guys. Well, our chat is like an encyclopedia. Let me read some supers before we get too far afield. LA Chargers fan 551. Thank you so much for the super. Says, glad to catch you live. Shout out to my sister, Mrs. Normus, and my brother, Mr. Meoff. Love you, Colt Mag, and we all know the joke. We love you. Thank you, LA Charger. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat. Appreciate you all the way from Australia. Says, I think Niski would have things to say about your niche of a niche of a niche. I think that's a joke on how people pronounce niche. Some people say it's niche. Some people say it's niche. Some people say it's niche.
Not niche.
Niche.
Niche. That's not how you.
Niche.
Nah, it's not how you pronounce it. It's
I
niche.
used to call it niche, but now I call it niche. Timothy Struwell, thank you so much for the super. Says Microsoft may be low-key concerned about Steam's OS release on desktop. If Steam OS pulls even a few points away from Windows market share, watch out. That's true, but Steam OS also has to support all of those important programs that you plan to run on your PC, and not just Microsoft programs. I'm talking Adobe and whatever. As long as that works out, I don't think Steam's in the business to take over the Windows thing. They just want to have a really great gaming platform, and they do. KY Bob, thank you so much for the chat. Says, got to disagree wholeheartedly here. The Steam Deck came about because of the Nintendo Switch. 150 million units sold made the handheld not a niche. Correct, but Steam Deck...
That was their only console, though. That was their only console.
Yeah.
It was not a secondary console, a handheld. It was a handheld, but it was not a supplementary product to their main product. That was their only product. That cannot be compared to a supplementary product like a Steam Deck, a ROG Ally. What the hell's the one on the
Lenovo Go?
The Lenovo
PlayStation Portal.
The PlayStation Portal.
And
sorry,
I
even own one.
And
It's
the
right there.
Pikachu
I didn't
Go.
even remember. The Pikachu Go.
Yeah,
and of course my Tamagotchi that I have attached to my pants still since 1994.
That you have attached to your Jinko jeans.
Bobby Hawk,
KY Bob,
dude. Yep.
KY Bob, the Nintendo sets almost all the gaming trends, and they have been since 1983 or 1985. So I agree. Like the Nintendo DS is probably one of the most successful consoles, and it's probably the most successful handheld. But Steam Deck and Lenovo Go and ROG Ally they're making money, but they're not hitting Nintendo numbers. Nobody is. JD Gamer, thank you so much for the super. Says the Xbox handheld was the most exciting part of their hardware future for many people, so releasing an Xbox branded one to fans in line with OEMs is okay. JD Gamer makes a good point that if Xbox does cancel their handheld, if they put their support, their push, and their blessing on the new future consoles, and those consoles can play, or those handhelds, I'm sorry, if Xbox gives their blessing to those handhelds made by Lenovo or Samsung or whoever, like Razer, if those have Xbox's blessing and they also get all your console games because Xbox got all their shiz together, then yeah, absolutely. You won't even miss them not having an official one, and I hope that is the future.
Like I said, you're getting it later this year. Like you're getting it later this year, so now you'll have a front row view of what actually is going to happen in terms of popularity and whatever else. Because it doesn't matter who makes it, that name is going to be slapped on there, which means you can basically consider it Xbox hardware. So let's see how that plays out. It'll be very interesting. Yeah. By the way, before you carry on, literal table in the chat says niches get stitches. I think that might be the funniest comment. I think that might be the funniest comment of this entire show, ladies and gentlemen.
That would actually make
fantastic.
That would make a great shirt if you spelled niche correctly, get stitches, and people would look at it and they're like, what? And only
Niches
people would get
stitches?
it. If it says niches get stitches, and the only people that get the shirt is the people that pronounce it niche. So then people are like, look at your shirt like, what? And I don't know, whatever. I think niche is the correct way, but when you live in the States and even with Canada, right? Like the people pronounce in the regions pronounce everything their own way. Like my mother-in-law says, wash your hands. And I don't say that, and we're from the same location.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Papa
thing.
Paco,
what was Papa
he's asking
Paco
about
say?
my shirt. No, he's asking about my shirt. It's not a shirt. It's actually a soccer jersey you can buy on the website.
Oh yeah. When I went to FanFest,
shirt, but I'm like, no, this is actual soccer jersey that I got from them.
I could have worn mine in 2019. They gave us a soccer jersey or football jersey. That was the Xbox jersey
shill.
everybody got. Yep. Hey, this is one of like 3 items I own that has an Xbox logo on it. Red Wolf Renegade, good friend. Thank you so much for the $10 super. Says, I can't watch live, but I hope y'all have a great show. He says, thoughts on Mind's Eye. I check Xbox. It has 32 reviews, 5 stars. CEO said it was paid grifting. Now we are seeing pre-release ratings. What the F? I thought he was just joking. There's actual ratings on the game, and it's not even out for 2 more weeks or another week. It's crazy.
How is that a thing? Who's like, the website has strict rules against putting out reviews before.
I think on the Xbox console, people are reviewing it. Why doesn't Xbox have that stuff shut off? Apparently, just they allow you to put a rating on a game that's not out yet. Jeez.
I might buy the game and just stream the whole goddamn thing. I might buy it and stream it just because it's on the tip of everybody's tongues.
I know.
Just to watch me sweat on screen trying to play. You never know. Watch it be like amazing. I just be like, this is fun. Like Saints Row. The Saints Row reboot with all the
watch it be like a 72 and you and I love it like we did Dead Island 2. Just watch it. I would be so happy for them.
Crackdown 3. It was one of my favorite campaigns I've ever played, man. I love that game. And I'm not even an Xbox shill. I just loved it. I thought it was fun.
Shout out to over 600, almost 700 people watching live. We appreciate you. We don't often ask, but hit the like button and show your support for the show. We're going to get back into Showcase in just a second. We're just getting started on uncovering everything. JD Gamer, thank you so much for the super. Says, no one cares about Summer Games Fest. People only care about the Xbox Showcase. It's been that way for years. As Xbox buys more publishers, it'll get worse for Summer Games Fest. I partially agree. I partially disagree, but I'm there for Jeff Keighley's big reveals, and Xbox will have a few new reveals, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I have my own thoughts about Jeff Keighley, but I'm glad that he's making a show for all of us to watch.
Oh, he's doing the Friday, right?
He's doing it Friday. Yeah.
Okay, so I can watch the Friday. Saturday, I'm going to the town. There's a town fair that's happening, and then I'm going to take the kids, so I won't be able to watch the Saturday one. Which I think someone in the chat told me it was with Unreal Engine. I got to get my phone and find out because I have the whole list and I had it scheduled so I can watch. And then Xbox is 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
Okay.
So,
yes.
Sorry. Carry on.
1 p.m. Oh yeah, I thought it was
1 p.m. Eastern. It's 10 a.m. Pacific.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was going to be 9 my time. So okay.
No, it's 10 o'clock your time.
Okay.
So.
That's much
Anyways,
better.
Carry on.
Philippe Russi, thank you so much for the 10 Ruple Royale. Royale. So stupid.
Start punching the air. Start punching the air.
You don't know anything about Brazil. You're so stupid. Come on, think, you idiot. It's like gosh dang it. Hold on, Brazil.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese, currency. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I want to say this right because
where is it? I'm trying to find it here.
R-E-A-L. It's R-E-A-L, and I know he's yelling into his phone like you idiot. It's Real maybe, but that doesn't sound very Brazilian. Okay,
no, that's right because like when you get to like the Spanish soccer teams like Real Madrid, it's not Real Madrid, it's Real.
Yeah, well, okay, so right? I got it in there for a second.
You got
it.
Okay. Yeah, it's Real. Yeah.
Philly, we appreciate you. He says, cheers from Brazil, Colt and Mag. Do you think they're going to show Gears of War EA actual gameplay? So excited for that.
Shh. Okay, we'll talk. Are we going to get into this or we still have more super chats?
We will get into it in just 1 second. Chris Williams says,
buddy.
Thank you, Philippe. We're going to get to that next. Sitting in a bedroom in a lab for sleep apnea study. Thanks, gents, for keeping me entertained and distracting me from awkwardness here. He's got stuff all taped to him. Bro, Chris, if you need to go do a sleep study, you don't want to watch X&C. You want to watch Xbox 2. You got to watch Xbox 2. You'll be out
you got to watch Randall 4. Yeah, him and Drunk Jez, you'll be asleep in a minute and a half.
The lady with the clipboard's like, wow, he went out quick.
Dude, yeah. Okay, if you're there, hold on a second. If you're there right now, stare at the technicians and awkwardly unbutton your shirt without breaking eye contact. One button at a time and just stare at them. Do it. and tell me what happens. I'll be looking in the chat to see what happens.
Oh my gosh. Bull Superfan goes, Colt's still mad at Jeff. No.
Oh yeah. Didn't you guys have a situation last year?
Yeah, I was like, no, it's fine.
Didn't you drop kick him off the top and like
he was cranky. He rolled the show on Saturday. No, he rolled the show on a Thursday, and then Saturday he was at Xbox's special event, and I was there, and Twitter was like not kind to the Summer Games Fest show that day. Not kind at all. Like people were oh, it was bad. It was bad. He puts a lot of work and money into that, and the reception was tough.
It's okay that people can have a not so positive reception, be like, well, that wasn't that great or with this and that, or it was okay or whatever. But you don't have to attack the guy. Like, I mean,
right.
That's like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between not liking someone and then full all out attacking somebody because of what they did. And I'm like, you really didn't have to go that far. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like call him names and send the guy threats and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, just say I didn't like it and move on with your life.
I'm sure lots of people did that, but I don't know.
Like, come on, man.
I don't know.
Like, I don't see anybody else. You know what? I don't see anybody else making a bloody effort. Do you? Besides Xbox? Do you see anybody else going out there making an effort to do a summer showcase and do a game awards in December? Everybody bitches about it.
Ben
but the guy's doing the work, man.
Ben from Xbox Fan Art and Dante and Ainsley are all like working hard to kind of revive what Xbox has left behind in some way. So
Xbox left behind? Xbox is doing
with like the watch party and the show, but like it's not quite the same thing. But like I said,
okay,
you can have your problems with Jeff Keighley, but call it like it is. And like I always have. Thanks to him for creating a show for us to watch. Let's talk about Xbox's big reveals, because Philippe says you think they're going to show Gears E-Day. We're not sure this game's coming out in 2025, but you think it's time to show us a little bit of actual game footage, Mag?
Yes, I do. What I think they're going to do is that was another one on my list, and I'm sure it was on yours. I think that at this point you're gonna have to do a nice big trailer, a big splash trailer for Gears Reloaded. You want to get that back in everybody's minds with the pre-orders sitting there, right? So you want everybody to start hitting. If you haven't done the pre-orders already, if you're not on Game Pass, then that'll be a good time to do it, to remind everybody that this game is coming out end of August, so a couple 3 months away or whatever it is, and then to say, okay, well, here it is. Put a big splash for Gears Reloaded, get it out there, get talking, and then you follow it up with Gears E-Day and says, and here's just a small glimpse of the future of Gears. And then that's where you show, which is kind of ironic because it's essentially a prequel sequel. But either way, the point is
the future.
Yeah. Dom, we're going back. The point is
Great Scott.
Marty Phoenix, we're going back to the future. It's your kids. Your son's an idiot. He ruined part 4.
You're not going to be picking a fight, Daddy-O. You're going to be coming to a rescue. Yeah.
We got to stop it. They were fighting robots for half the game. We got to go back. Anyways, God, I hated that. I hated that. Those bloody robots.
Yep.
Those rolling robots. You remember that? Anyways, that's what you do. They're going to do a Gears Reloaded, remind everybody it's out there, get those pre-orders in if you don't have Game Pass, whatever, and then just go into your Gears E-Day and say it in here. Because all we got was the teaser trailer where, the dude comes up and he starts choking Marcus Phoenix and they, they're fighting a little bit and this and that.
Yeah.
And then he looks out the window. So, I mean, it's on the screen right now. But either way, that's the point. So then you show a little bit of gameplay. No multiplayer, just show the little bit of gameplay and get it out there.
Yeah.
And then talk about it. Q1, 2026.
Beauty. I love that. So, I love that prediction. I love that, Mag. I'm with you.
All right.
I'm with you.
All right.
Spring, first half of the year in 2026 for Gears E-Day. Oh, yes. I'm not with you.
You're not.
You got to come out. Yeah, you got to come out like March, maybe April, so people get a good month to play Gears, and then just get drowned by Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to it's going to absolutely annihilate everything in its path.
I got to throw in a wild card here. Jacob says Wu-Tang gets shown. Say it, Colt. Wu-Tang Clan, or as I said in a video 19 times, Wu-Tam Clam. Wu-Tam the clam. I heard the Wu-Tang Clan game. That's why it gets hard to say those. Say Wu-Tang Clan game, Meg.
And Wu-Tang Clan game. It sounds weird.
It's kind of tough. I heard that game is not going to see the light of day. And it was supposed to be shown last year and didn't. Maybe it wasn't ready, but I heard it just is not going to exist in the future. So I don't know. It was going to be a weird game, but whatever.
The thing is, it kind of disappears. Listen, when something disappears for a long period of time and you don't even hear anything from anybody in the industry, you know that it was quietly pushed under the rug.
Yeah, like the
right?
handheld.
That's basically what you're looking at when it comes to something like that. So when you stop talking about it and then they just kind of lift the rug and just go, just push it under there. And people will ask, but like, they're like, what happened to the Wu-Tang Clan game? And they'd be like, the who?
The what? I mean, haven't we seen that the past 2 or 3 years? Like, we didn't even cover last week, or we're not even going to cover today. Like the Black Panther game got canceled. Like, all these games are, I swear, it seems like every week
I'm okay
a game gets canceled or a studio closes. It totally feels like that.
But no, you know why, Colt? Because we're getting more info from the inside than we ever have before, and it makes its way into
making its way
legacy
downtown
media now. Yeah. So now making its way downtown. So the thing is that games get canceled every 4 days, like in the real world. When if you think about, you talk to some of these developers in these studios, they're like 95%. Yeah, developers, 95% of what they start working on, whatever, doesn't ever see the light of day. Only 5% of their products actually make it to the light of day. You know how many games get canceled along the way? However, this one got canceled because I was told actually by somebody very deep in the industry saying that it was actually disbanded because of heavy mismanagement from the top.
Oh, wow.
So
what a surprise.
That's why.
And then Outriders 2 probably got canceled as well. Like, I'm pretty sure it was probably Outriders. But I don't know.
Now, here's the other thing. I actually don't really care that the Black Panther game got canceled because we're still getting the Amy Hennig Black Panther.
We're getting the Hydra
Rise of Hydra. So I'm all for that. And I said that in my video too. I'm like, I'm all for that because Amy Hennig is a master of her craft. Her games that come out are all fantastic. Okay, and the fact that she's doing
she was behind the Uncharted trilogy, right? The early ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Amongst other fabulous games that she has done over the years. Now the thing is, she's got Captain America and Black Panther, and it takes place in the past, and it's the Rise of Hydra. These are all pluses for me. Like I said, and Amy Hennig doing it. Give me that one. I don't need the other one. So,
and it's got Pikachu in it, which is kind of a curveball, but should work for him.
Amy, I'm super happy about it. So I'm excited to see what she does with that. Like I said, Amy Hennig has a pedigree that is rarely matched in this industry. So
yeah,
I'm all for it. Anyways, carry on.
All right, so Mag sets up a really good scenario there with showing Gears Reloaded, which we're looking at Gears 1 footage right now, and then going into Gears E-Day with a little bit of what it actually looks like. Let me grab one from my list, then it's my turn. Double Fine. That'll be a quick one.
Whoa, really?
I believe it's time for Double Fine to show what they have. I thought it was this game called Kiln where you play as this purple pot with arms and who knows? Like, their games are so weird, but apparently that's not what they're working on. We don't know anything. There's nothing to leak or spoil there, but they've got some type of game that has co-op and single player because it says it's a multiplayer game. They've got some new game to show, and I think Double Fine is going to make an appearance at the showcase. And all I can tell you is just expect that quirky logo and some crazy, goofy, funny-looking game that Tim Schafer's making up. Psychonauts 2 is fantastic. Really, you and I love that game to death. So
love it. It's my favorite Xbox game of the entire generation.
Yeah, I don't know
what
else
game to me comes close.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know what else to say other than Double Fine. I want to kick it off to you for your next prediction. What do you have after on your list?
We're still going with the obvious. Or you want me to throw? I don't want to throw a curveball.
Do whatever you want as long as you don't lose place in your list. But yeah, I mean,
no. It's all like Mozart, buddy. It's all up here. In Exile is next on the list. It is time. It is time. It is not going to come out this year, but you've got to show more of what's going on with Clockwork business there. I almost
Wait.
called it Clockwork Orange.
Wait, I require you to say the name correctly because we flubbed it so many times.
I still can't remember the whole name properly. I keep thinking like Clockworks, and then Clockwork Orange, and then Clockwork Revolution. You know what I mean?
What
Dance,
a fraud.
Dance Revolution. I don't know which one it is.
Dance Clock Revolution. Yeah. We're almost
It's
in time,
about time
with
they
the.
need to show it.
Yeah, we're almost in time with. I put these in the list of my listing, but when I go to you, it'll throw it off. But yeah, I agree. Clockwork Revolution. That's one that I'm a little bit concerned about because a lot of people really liked Wasteland 3, but I didn't like it. And
It wasn't my game, but I'm still interested to see what they're doing.
yeah, and the visuals don't matter that much, but the graphical visual style to me looks very dated, and this is going to sound kind of rough, but it looks like an early Xbox One PS4 generation game to me.
Come on, really? Okay, all right.
It does. And sometime during this broadcast, you'll see I have the gameplay edit without all the cinematic crap. And most of the stuff you're going to see here on the screen over here is most of it, if it's available, will be just the gameplay on most of the trailers because I kind of cut them up. But In Exile's Clockwork Revolution looks a little bit, I don't know. It's going to be great. It's like you and I said last week, it's going to be like a BioShock meets a Fallout type RPG.
I need to see it. I need to see it.
I need
properly.
to see it.
Like whether I play it or not is entirely up to me. Like if it's going to be my kind of jam or not my kind of jam, I have to see it. But I'd like to see it in detail and say, okay, what exactly are we doing here? When is it coming out? What's happening here? Show me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. And give me a full understanding of what I'm playing. Like I said, I may not play it, but maybe I will. I don't know. I'll be like, you know what? That interests me. Or, oops, it's got that mechanic. I hate that kind of mechanic or whatever. I'll give it a shot. Like look at Expedition 33. I'm not a turn-based combat guy, but that game turned me around real quick. Right?
Sure,
All of a sudden
same.
I'm like, whoa, this game is awesome. So I gave it a chance. But in order for us to give it a chance, we need to see more. And that's why I'm saying In Exile's Clockwork Dance Revolution is going to be at the showcase.
Okay.
All right, Colt?
Okay,
Back to
I
you,
agree. I think we're gonna see more gameplay. We did get to see 30 seconds of that game, so that's a solid prediction. My next one is what you're seeing on screen is the Initiative's Perfect Dark. We got to see about 3 minutes of actual in-engine and gameplay. We actually got to see a lot, but I need to see a little bit more. I am a little bit leery about Perfect Dark. I hope it's really good. I have a feeling that Perfect Dark is going to be very PG or PG-13. And I don't know what it is about Xbox outside of Gears. They don't have a lot of games that are just like, all adult, I don't know what I'm expecting when I say PG-13. I just want it to be edgy, not edgy, because that's the problem. I just want it to be gritty and awesome. And this game is beautiful. And the gunplay looks amazing. I love like the Dying Light style parkour traversal, which looks fantastic. I love hacking. Like I got a little bit of that Watchdog stuff, some of that subterfuge that you get in Splinter Cell. So what you're kind of getting with Perfect Dark is like a mismatch of your favorite games. Like you get the Dying Light traversal, you get the great shooting, you get the Splinter Cell stuff. And it's all going to do that all at the same time. So I don't know. We think that Perfect Dark is a 2027 or 2026 game, maybe 2027. But if they showed this much and they needed an extra year, like maybe it's ready for next year. I would just like to see it one more time. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they don't have to show it, but
if they showed it last year, right? This is a year ago,
correct.
Is it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If you're saying 2027, then that's 3 years from this trailer. That's ridiculous.
Oh, 2027
3 more years.
Yeah, it would be 3 years. Yeah, you're good at math.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is too much.
That's 3 years from this trailer. Like, what the F are you guys doing over there?
I think it's 2026. And Xbox's MO
2026 makes sense.
Xbox's MO is a year before the game comes out. They want to show like a bunch of gameplay. So
yeah, but they did here, and this was 2024. Although some people were speculating that this was fake gameplay. I don't know. I heard some stories about that, some narratives running around. I'm just telling you what I heard, but not from my people, just stuff I've seen on social media and stuff. And they're like, is it gameplay? Is it not? Is it that? I'm like, well, who cares? Like let's just see what the game comes out. But I'm excited
what's your
as hell
pulse
for it, dude.
Yeah. I want to hear how you feel about it. What are your good and bads?
No, man. You give me military, espionage, parkour, a little bit of sleuthing. You give me all that stuff, spy work. I'm in 100%. Just make it interesting, make it enveloping, and make it awesome. Just like all of those things. Just do that. All right. Don't make it boring. Don't make like you know what I mean? I don't want it to drag on and be like, oh God, I got to follow this guy for 6 miles, like on the rooftop while he's walking around. Like, come on, don't give me that. Give me stuff that's awesome and just be like, okay, let's do this. How do I get in? Like, give me a combination of Watch Dogs with a little bit of Hitman, with a little bit of Dying Light, with a little bit of what was that parkour game that EA used to want with the girl?
Mirror's Edge.
All over the place. Yeah. Mirror's Edge. Give me all of those things married into one, and I'm sold. All right, you give me that, you got yourself a customer. I'll buy the damn game. So it looks fantastic, and that's from a year ago, okay? That trailer's from a year ago, and it already looks fantastic. So I'm in 100%. I just don't think we see it until the end of 2026 because it doesn't make any sense to release it any earlier than a year and a half from now. Like I said, you've got Gears E-Day, which was supposed to hit end of 2025. Push it a couple of months, put it in early 2026. You still got Fable in the mix. You've got the next Call of Duty in the mix. You've got Grand Theft Auto 6 in the mix. Where are you going to put Perfect Dark? Right, you got to put it somewhere. At the end of 26, and then Sony,
I agree.
Sony's got other stuff in 2026. Maybe Wolverine. Maybe who knows what the hell else they're doing. The Naughty Dog game, their Intergalactic. Who knows? But either way, where are you going to put this? Because this game looks hot, and this looks like a game that requires a nice chunk of time where people could say, "Hey, this is a premier title that we're releasing here."
A holiday game.
Because, like I said, now you're selling it, right? You're selling it to PlayStation, so you don't want to. You know what I mean? You don't want to get in the way of their own games, and they're not going to allow it anyway. They're going to say, no, you can't release it during this time, or at least they're going to suggest that. They say, we got Wolverine coming out that week. Can you push it another week or so? Because Sony wants the sales too. Don't think that they want Xbox to fail on PlayStation. They want Xbox to be highly successful on PlayStation. Why?
And it has been,
It has been, but they want to continue because they're going to collect 30% for every single one of those sales for an Xbox game. They want Xbox to massively succeed on the PlayStation. So they're going to have to really space out next year too. But you're not wrong. There might be a possibility, dude, as sad as it is, they might have to even push this out of 26. Because
because they probably have Fable in that window.
Well, that's 26. The other problem, Fable. That's it. I give up.
All right, what's your next game? I had Perfect Dark was my last one.
No. Oh, you had Perfect Dark. Okay, well, let's get the obvious one out of the way. I know the chat wants to hear about it. State of Decay 3, you will finally see what this game is. I mean, we know what the game is all about, but you're going to finally see what's really happening. I saw Clobriel was already putting stuff up about it, whatever. It's already well on its way. It's going to be shown in a very deep way. They're going to show the mechanics. They're going to show the breakdowns of how the game is played, what you can do, what you can't do, the building, the community building, the games, the online stuff, the co-op, the 4-player gameplay. Everything that is going to be shown. I think this will be one that they really put to paper and say, here it is.
Like
this
a fairly long trailer to give us a good idea of what to expect. That is well overdue for sure. Yeah. Okay.
I think that you're also going to get, with the trailer, you're going to get splash text on the screen that will tell you exactly what you're doing and what you're we have fort building, we have base building, we have this, we have communities you have to take care of, survival tactics, whatever, right? Or mechanics, excuse me, not tactics, survival mechanics, all these other things. You know what I mean? And then they're going to show 4-player co-op, this and that, cross-platform with every system, PC, PlayStation, Xbox.
There's supposed to be like a more organic entrance into the world. Like you can log on and say, hey, just jump into my world, or you can go in and there's already people in that server, and you can just run over and help them, or just leave them, let them do their thing. So the world feels more alive, because State of Decay 2 is fairly dead. I want to give my opinion about State of Decay. I liked State of Decay 2. I didn't love it. And with some of the changes from Undead Labs. What's that?
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Go ahead. I was saying it was a little janky for me, and I don't like survival. I don't like survival mechanics in the game. Like when I'm busy trying to go deal with like a mission where I have to go out and deal with zombies, the last thing I need is some lazy prick sitting on the ground going, "Can y'all get me a sandwich? I'm kind of hungry." I'm like, "Oh, okay, jerk. I'll go and risk my life. You just sit there and I'll go bring you a sandwich, okay, dude? Otherwise, he dies." Like,
it has the same problem that Starfield does when you're trying to build an outpost. Like you collect so much stuff and you bring it all back, and it's like none of this is going to help you build anything. I'm like, I made like 18 runs in State of Decay 2. I bring all this stuff and just fill my camp with all this gear, and it's like you can't upgrade anything because you don't have enough stuff. I'm like, what the fudge do you want me to do? I hope State of Decay 3 is so much better than 2, because the first one was objectively better and scored higher, and then 2 took a step down, even though it did much more. I really hope they deliver, but I'm really cautiously optimistic about State of Decay 3. Let me grab a new game. I'll do this one that's on screen if we're still showing it. I don't want this, but apparently it's pretty possible there's a Minecraft Dungeons 2. And I'm like, why? The game was a failure. It was like a 68 or 72 meta or something. And I looked it up, and there's 20 million people played Minecraft Dungeons 2. It made a crap ton of money for the studio and for Xbox. And apparently they're getting ready to show Minecraft Dungeons 2. And I mean,
I thought it was fun.
I thought it was frustrating.
And I hate Minecraft. Really?
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I was playing with my son.
I was playing.
And we would play like, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I played it with my. This footage is my son and I playing. I'm on PC and he's on Xbox. And I played a bunch of the game with Zocker and Lethal Papa and Dealer, and we got all the way to the end, and we just got smoked in the last level, like one-hitted over and over in the last level, and I just gave up. I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore. It's not fun anymore. But apparently a sequel's coming out, and I'm looking at the footage. This is such a nice looking game. I don't know. Is there anybody excited about another Minecraft Dungeons?
Well, I'm getting a fairly good demographic in the chat here that the people are just like, like they're down for it. Cool. Justy Spud said something here. He goes like, Mojang needs to work on a game that is not Minecraft related. You know what?
Impossible.
They would actually have the opportunity with that if Minecraft failed. But the problem is Minecraft generates hundreds of millions of views on. The movie is about to cross $1 billion in global box office.
Yeah.
Minecraft is a juggernaut that they will be forced to make for the rest of their lives and the rest of our lives. It's kind of like Hugh Jackman is going, just like what did what's his name say to him? He turned to him in the movie and he's like Deadpool, and he's like, "You're going to be playing him till you're 75," and he's not wrong.
He's almost
like
there.
Hugh Jackman is. You just got to keep that. You know what I'm saying? And Mojang, however you want to pronounce it. They are making billions of dollars. They unfortunately, niche. They are making billions of dollars, and that is a juggernaut. That's a train that cannot be stopped. So they got to keep going. That's all they. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but I have a feeling. You know what they probably say to this some of the team? They're like, "Hey, listen." Excuse me. It's like we own 36 teams now. If you don't want to make any of those, go apply to one of the other studios that's making a different game.
Yeah, I know somebody who did that too.
Microsoft Gaming, right? Oh yeah, you did. Okay, well there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. So you have the option.
I mean, that's what happens at every studio. I don't want to make Call of Duty forever. I don't want to make this. It happens. That happens. What do you got on your list? What's next, Mag? You can go with what's on screen, or you can go off of something that's in your noggin. What do you got? What else are they going to show? Oh, whoa! I can't hear you. What the heck? Just a second.
How about that?
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
you cussed me out. And
I accidentally pressed something. No, I was going to say State of Decay 3 was my pick. So now we got to go back.
Okay. Well, I'll go with Outer Worlds 2. I thought I had this in order.
Well.
I moved the wrong one. Yeah. Outer Worlds 2 is at the end because it's the direct, but we'll talk about it briefly because I'm so excited about Outer Worlds 2, like a lot. I'm really excited about playing this game, but I sort of feel like Xbox is using this as their last resort for Direct, because I think they wanted to end their Direct for Gears E-Day, but the team needed more time. So they decided last minute this spring to make Outer Worlds 2 their Direct. And I think that's going to be a really good, enjoyable Direct. And what you're looking at is the environmental fly-throughs that I captured off of IGN's coverage. And then later on, you'll see a bunch of gameplay that I put on at the end of all of this extra footage of the other games. But Outer Worlds 2 is obviously going to be there. But I'm going to say this. Hopefully, like they did in 2023, they'll have a 3-minute trailer showing Outer Worlds, and then the Direct will be the full breakdown at the end of the show. So we get like a little taste of Outer Worlds 2 midway through the show. That's my pick. What do you got? What's next on your list?
My last, this is one of the last on my list here anyway. It's about time Rare shows the new and improved Everwild. And it's gotten to that point now that they have to show this game. They had a game, they scrapped it, and they started over. That's why, by the way, if anybody in the chat didn't know that, that's why we haven't seen it for so long, is that because they scrapped it, started over again. And I know as a fact, because I know who was in the room with him, Phil Spencer already was playing it back in October. So he was playing an early build of the game or whatever. But either way, he was playing the game, and I spoke to someone who was there with him playing. So like the game is playable. I know what the game is. I know what the mechanics are and what the gameplay loop is. I will not spoil that for anybody. I will allow them to do that. But either way, Everwilds needs to be shown. Now, again, we can't keep going too far ahead in terms of their release cadence, because we already know what's coming out for the rest of 25. 26 is already packed. 26 is already packed to the gills. Yeah, I almost feel like anything outside of what we're talking about is going to be shown in is going to be for 27, and that's going too far. Now, you know what kind of a game Everwild is. I told you already. You already knew that. What kind of a game it is. So you could possibly put that game, you could almost release that anywhere and kind of let it flourish over time, right? So we already know what kind of a game that they're making. And like I said, I don't want to spoil for you guys, okay? So, you know, that will leave secret. But either way, you know what kind of a game it is. I know what kind of game it is. I think you could release that at any time and just promote it and let it grow over time. Let that be a hint to everybody is what I'm talking about. So I think you do that, but they got to show something with Everwild now. It's been a long time. And I got one more on the list, but I'll wait till you give me yours. What do you think about Everwild, by the way?
I'm a little bit worried about Everwild because it's not really my type of game. So I'm not worried about it, but I'm thinking, I hope I enjoy it. It's probably one of those I'll play, but it might surprise me because Power World is something that I didn't think I would play, and Grounded is not something I thought I would play. And if it has any of those mechanics of, you know, like survival mechanics, I might really, really enjoy it. It's just the theme or the tone of of like, I don't know, like the mystical magic thing is not always my thing, but we'll see. I don't know. Rare has always made really cool games, so I think it could be really good. I think it could be good.
It's a lot closer to the target than I would have liked him to, but he didn't.
Well, I mean, people can make the assumptions.
Phil is not my source. Can you imagine Phil sinking his own company, going, "Hey, Mag, guess what we're doing next?"
All right, the next one I gotta go to you on because I would rather you talk about this one. It's on screen if you can see your live feed. What the?
Well, I'm looking at Minecraft Dungeon still, and then there was
refresh
a
the feed.
massive ass glitch. There's a massive glitch. Something happened. It all got screwy, and then like.
Well, I was scrubbing the video to get to the spot. I decided to kind of change it around. Why. Yeah. So.
Well, I had one more game. You want me to tell you what it was?
Well, I want you to talk. I think the trailer's over now, but I want you to talk about Contraband.
It's a big problem to talk about that game.
What can you say, or what do you know, or what do you feel comfortable?
The last I heard, it's been a while, but the last I heard, and I saw the footage and I saw the screenshots. The game exists, folks. Okay, I know people who played the damn thing. The last I saw was 8-person. I hate to say co-op. 8-person multiplayer gameplay I saw of that game. Now, not much since. I've heard some news here and there. Maybe I'll hear something tonight when they try to say that they'll see the show tonight and be like, oh, by the way, I heard you talk about Contraband. I could tell you about X, Y, and Z. But I haven't really been digging all that deep because there was a lot of other games that I was focusing on that I found to be more interesting. Now, I did, like I said, it does exist. I've seen the footage with my own eyes. I know people who've played it. They even, well, whatever. I can't say anything more than that. But either way, they said that the multiplayer was a lot of fun. The 4-player co-op was fun. The 8-player multiplayer was fun. Had a great time playing the alpha, beta, whatever the hell it was, demo thingy. And the playtesters were really enjoying themselves playing it. It says it was a blast. It was very much like a Twisted Metal meets, at least the driving mechanics was like Twisted Metal meets Dukes of Hazzard. And I was like, that sounds so awesome. And so I saw some of the stuff and I was like, holy shish kebab, this really does look like a lot of fun. And then it just fell off the face of the planet. And I've had so many people reach out to me going, Meg, what's going on with Contraband? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I got all this information. I had all this stuff happen. And then it just went dead silent. And like not a bloody word about it ever since. Maybe I'll reach out after the show tonight and say, like, dude, what the hell happened to that game? Because, you got the play testers, right? But like, what happened?
I don't know anything about Contraband, and I kind of stopped reporting on it because it's been so dicey and no real information on anything I've heard from anybody. But I think I would assume that it's still on its way, but it was in a bad way for a couple of years. But it's really possible that Contraband could finally rear its ugly head this year. And I'm a little bit iffy about it because Just Cause 4 and Just Cause 3 wasn't that great. Just Cause 4 was awful. And Rage 2 was awesome and underrated. So
Rage 2 was amazing.
I loved Rage 2. I really enjoyed it. Even for all its flaws, I really enjoyed it. And it's not a really highly rated game. So that Avalanche team can make some cool stuff. And they're doing something super unique. You're in like a Mayan, what do they say? You're in like an Indonesian archipelago, and it takes place in the 70s. And when Mag says Dukes of Hazzard, you're using Jeeps and muscle cars and winches on Jeeps. And so you have to navigate mud.
Yeah, it's like those old ass Buicks, like literally from the Dukes of Hazzard movie. And you see like Roscoe P. Coltrane like flying through the air, and then then all of a sudden like another dude in like a 19 big Buick with 4-door Buick and stuff, and it's basically like those cars, man. It's awesome.
And it's cool because
like
if it's a heist game and it takes place in the 70s, you're not popping up cell phones. You don't have closed circuit cameras everywhere connected to the internet. It's all about that organic. Lose them in the line of sight and lose the cops and smash them into a telephone pole and get away. Like it could really be great. There was rumors that you could get out of the car, like Grand Theft Auto. There's rumors that you're only in the car and everything happens in the car. Not true. But I don't know. I think we'll see it this weekend.
I asked about that. Jacob in the chat again. He says a Contraband needs to be a Twisted Metal meets Smuggler's Run with a dash of Dukes of Hazzard. That is almost bang on what the game actually is. Now, as for further info, I could dig tonight. I can't do it now. I'm on the show, but I could dig around and see what I can find out if there's anything new. But like, it's been damn quiet on that game. But I gotta say, kudos to Microsoft gaming department that they haven't really let out a lot of leaks about the show in general. And I gotta tell you, Microsoft is leaking more than the Titanic after hitting the damn iceberg. Usually you find out all the show before it even happens. And nothing. And I'm really happy about that. Like I said, as a fan, never mind as a podcaster, as a YouTuber, as a content creator, as a fan of gaming, I am more than happy to sit down and, crack a few thousand beers and a big bowl of popcorn and just sit there and go, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? And let's watch this show and let's have some fun. And I want to have one of those jump up off the floor, call Mr. Boomstick and be like, dude. And then he's like, dude. You know what I mean? Like Onimusha, when him and I saw Onimusha, like we both freaked out because like the Onimusha was like one of mine and Mr. Boomstick XL's. Go sub to his channel, by the way. it's one of our favorite series of all time, as well as Resident Evil. We're huge Capcom fans, right? When they announced the new Onimusha, the first person I dialed was him, all the way Toronto to New York. I'm like, dude, like right away. I want one of those moments, right, where I jump up off the floor or wherever I'm sitting and be like, yes, holy crap, I didn't even think of whatever.
Yeah.
Or wow, look at how great Splinter Cell looks. Or wow, whatever else, right?
Go vote. Are you hyped
yeah.
for the Xbox Showcase? Vote for the poll there in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody in the chat says, "What's OD and what's contraband?" Like we just talked about contraband. You're gonna have to go back and
OD
scrub
is
back
nowhere.
to 625.
You won't see that, dude. You won't see that for another year, 2 years at least.
I don't even want to see OD at this
Kojima
point.
Kojima is so busy with Death Stranding 2, and he's going to be pushing the living hell out of it. And on top of that, he's also working on doing some Hollywood projects. OD is going to be like, I mean, end of a generation, if not beginning of the next generation. So don't get your hopes up.
We saw OD at Summer Games Fest last year with Jordan Peele on stage. So they're still working on it. But
Colt, we got one from the chat. The chat's asking a lot about one, which we didn't talk about, which I'm not sure we're going to see.
Do you want to say it for your next one, or do you want to go with what?
No, that was my list. I'm pretty much done with all my lists.
Okay, I've got a few more. Let me grab a couple supers here, and we'll grab the rest.
Go for it. I'll be right back.
I've got like 6 more.
I'm just gonna step away from the mic for a minute.
Okay, we got Boner Jams.
Colt, what do you think this is? Gonna be like 8-hour show?
Well, you just wait. Kidding. Boner Jams, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says much love to my homie from another Chromie, Steve-O. Saw Mag eating a gas station kielbasa on Friday afternoon. Thought that was a questionable move, but here he is. It worked out, so smooches. Shout out to Boner Jams and the Under the Bus podcast on Wednesday. I jumped in their chat. Those guys are hilarious. If you want to hear just talk about whatever on a podcast, they're on YouTube under UTB. Check them out. God Emperor Sofa King, thank you for the super. Says Elder Scrolls 6 will be at the showcase. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wi-Fi Wizard, thank you for the 2. Says, will State of Decay 3 be there and get a release date or window? I think State of Decay 3 is going to be there. And I think they're probably just going to say what year the game comes out. Because we got 30 seconds of gameplay last year, and that is time to show more gameplay and give us a window. So yeah, a window, I think. Russell Coaster, thank you so much for the super, says, if Arc Raiders Shadow drops, the rest of the shows won't matter. It will steal the show and maybe even Game of the Year. Really? Really? Arc Raiders is well loved right now by people that played the beta. I don't know. I don't know how well Arc Raiders is going to do, but the rumor is that it's supposed to shadow drop at Summer Games Fest. They'll show the game, say when it's coming out, say it's coming out right then, and everyone's going to jump on it. I don't see Arc Raiders getting Game of the Year. I also don't expect Arc Raiders to be the biggest moment in Jeff Keighley's showcase. But we'll see. Super Saison Gaming, thank you so much for the super. Says next Sunday, Minecraft Copilot. Oh boy. Yeah, make a Minecraft AI game. People love that. People love that stuff all the time. Let me go to my next game while we wait for Mag to come back. Oh, here we go. Are you ready? I've got bad news for you. Let me see where we are on the. It'd be nice if this footage was all up here. I made this footage all together. Yeah, there it is. There's Fable. Let's go with this. I've been telling you guys for 3 years that Playground Games was going to be showing Fable, Forza Horizon 6 at the showcase in 2022 or 23 and 24 and now 25. Okay. I no longer believe that Forza Horizon 6 is going to be shown this year. I think it's going to be shown next year, and I've got a couple reasons why. One of the reasons is Forza Horizon 5 is now the top seller, one of the top selling games on PlayStation 5. There's no reason for Playground to enjoy the sales of 5 and then turn around and say, here's 6 coming this year, and slow down the sales of 5. So I believe because of the PlayStation port that Forza Horizon 6 is not going to make an appearance. They could show it and say coming 2026, but Forza Horizon has always been shown the year It's been shown in the summer and come out in that same fall. So
Correct
I would be
Amando.
shocked. I would be shocked if we saw Forza Horizon 6 this year and then they said coming 2026. What about you, Mag?
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people have been asking in the chat about it, and I haven't answered anybody because I'm like, well, we're probably going to address this during the show, which obviously we did. Yeah, there's no chance they're going to show it this year, and it's not coming out this year. So you're looking at the next year, and at that point, do you even bother? I wouldn't even bother with the Game Award in December. Doesn't make any sense. I would wait until next year's summer showcase to show Forza Horizon 6 and release it in the fall, regardless of how packed the release cadence for 2026 is turning out from all the different companies. I think that a racing game can always find its way in there because there's always a crowd for racing games that will always get in there. I mean, like Forza Horizon 5 released right in the middle of like Call of Duty season and still got 25 or 30 million people playing the game.
I know, it did amazing.
Like it did amazing, right? And it's going to continue to do amazing. And now again, it's a third party. It's coming out on all systems. It's going to blow people's socks off on all the systems.
Yeah, and
it's going to be, like I said, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation, not Switch 2.
That'll be huge. And I think one of the third reason why Forza Horizon 6 isn't ready for 2025 is because I'm assuming they put many hands on deck to help get Fable ready for next year. And I didn't think that was going to be a thing. They have separate teams, but at this point, with them needing an additional year for Fable, I really believe that it's possible that much of the Forza Horizon team has been helping next door at the St. Albans House studio for Fable. The reason why I'm showing grid footage from 2019 because there's a rumor, and I really believe that the game was going to take place in Tokyo. So I captured some really cool footage back in the day of the Tokyo circuit on grid, and then I use that in videos because I want people to see what I'm talking about. Let me scrub back here for a second and let me talk about Fable here. Wait, it's like really brief. Really brief. There we go.
I could tell you my thoughts on Fable.
Yeah,
already,
let's go for it, Mags. You're on deck.
I don't think they're going to bother. And the reason why I don't think they're going to bother is because they know damn well it's another year and a half out. And that being the case, why bother? Why bother showing it again? They showed a little alpha footage. They showed a lot. Yeah, like they've already showed enough. They had a trailer. They showed the alpha footage. What's the point? It's another year and a half away. That's like doing a deep dive on a game that you're not going to see until I'm like 53 years old, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? And we know that it's going to come out at the end of the year because it's not going to go and compete against GTA 6. These are
I think they've shown it every
games.
Year, Mag. I think they've almost shown it every year.
I think the next time they show it is either the Game Awards in December, or even then, what's the point?
Yeah, you're right, because I think the game is coming out at the end of next year.
Yes, it's the end of 26. And so, like, what's the point of even showing it there?
Well, I don't think they will
show
either.
it at the next Xbox showcase a year from now.
I agree. I think Fable is...
Say 6 months, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fable is going to be absent for the showcase this year, and I think we do need to see like actual gameplay, like walking in and see what the world looks like, and all these stupid quick cuts. But the game probably needs so much extra work because some people have complained about how stilted the game looks, even though it looks amazing. So
they're only seeing snippets. Like I have faith. Listen, I am no bootlicker, okay? But I can tell you this. This game is going to be magnificent. I just have a feeling. Yeah. It's one of my most anticipated this next half of the generation. GTA 6 number 1, and right there next to it, if not tied for first place, is Fable.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Same.
And I'm not saying that lessens my enthusiasm for all the other games that are coming out. I think there's a lot of great games coming out for all the systems, third party, first party, whatever. I'm also looking forward to Ghost of Yotei, my most anticipated for the rest of this year. Right? That's my biggest game of this year. And then there's rumors of Wolverine next year, whatever else.
Did you say Mafia Old Country? Because there's so many games.
Mafia Old Country is, yeah. I mean, that's just a couple of months, and I'm super pumped.
And Borderlands 4.
And yeah.
And Mind's Eye.
Borderlands 4. Yeah, but not as much. Hey, Mind's Eye, listen, man, I'm telling you, it might surprise a lot of people. The thing is, I love all those games, and I'm going to play the living hell out of those games. But some games stand up a little bit higher on the list, and that would be for me Ghost of Yotei this year, next year Fable, and GTA 6. Those will be my three biggest games. But like, dude, those are going to be monster games. And if you don't think that they're going to make this Fable game an absolute legend of a game, I think you're sorely mistaken. Yeah, I think it's going to be a monster game. I'm even predicting everywhere, even upwards of 20 to 25 million sales. Like we're talking like Hogwarts Legacy levels.
Oh, geez, I don't know how big Fable is, but
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not about the legacy.
Big. It's about the first Fable on PlayStation is going to be big. Yeah.
Witcher 3 sold 60 million units, dude.
I say
60 million units.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I say Ghost of Yotei, I think is what I say. Ghost of Yotei, I think is what I call it. I looked it up when the game came out that year, and I pronounced it correctly for a while, but it's Yotei.
Yeah, it's Yotei. That's how I did it because I even went to Google Translate. And when they like verbally tell you,
I'm not Japanese.
They're like, oh, this is how, this.
For the love of God, I don't speak Japanese.
You don't have to. You could pretend. You know how you pretend here. You want me to give you a little bit of a?
Oh no!
I'll give you a little bit of no. This is how you do it. Pretend you're lifting a house. Pretend you're deadlifting a house. Okay, and just go like this. Like reach down, like you're doing a little bit of like pantomime.
My kids hate when I do stuff like this.
You put your fingers underneath the house and you go like this. And there it is. You got it. You nailed it. That's it. That's it. Pretend you're deadlifting a house with your fingertips. That's
language lessons from Mag. All right. Yes. Here's another one.
All right. What's up?
Indie Jones DLC.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the land. What is it? The Land of the Giants or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Fallout 76 representation and see at these like we always do. They've been there almost every year. I think every year. But Indiana Jones DLC, and what could Indiana Jones do, Mag, that what did you need to see that it didn't quite do? Like the gunplay was a little bit weird, but I don't know. Just more great puzzles and
the gun was not the focus of the game, very much like Indy Jones. He only used a gun like 3 times in the entire trilogy. He used it in the first movie where he shot the guy with the big sword. Remember that? The guy in the market? Yeah. And he shot him. He tried to shoot somebody he fired the gun once out of the cab or 2 times out of the cab in Temple of Doom, and then the gun fell out of the window. And then when he went to go shoot the guys at the end of the movie, he had no gun. So he didn't use it there. And then the only time he used it in Last Crusade is when he pulled out the MP40 when he was rescuing his father, and he shot those the 2 Nazis there. And then he fired the one I can't remember the name of that German gun. And then the one bullet went through. Was it the Mauser? Well, yeah,
I think
was that the one?
What it is. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then the bullet went through all. Yeah, and the one bullet went through 3 Nazis, and they all went like this. They all fell like stormtroopers off the side of the tank. That's the only time I ever used a gun. Yeah. So you know what? I will not fault him for not having great gunplay in the game because he's not Nathan Drake. Like Nathan Drake is like John Wick. He's like all of a sudden he's out there like grabbing like artifacts. The next thing you got like 2 machine guns and like a handgun he's firing with his toes. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Anyways, that's not it.
I love that.
What they need to do is they need to talk about the first game. Show its accolades. Shows that, number 1 seller on whatever, the PlayStation Store. 8 million people played it on Xbox Game Pass, this and that. The story of a lifetime, the adventure of a lifetime. And then you put the adventure of a lifetime, and then you put continues. And then you put Land of the Giants, or whatever the hell it's called.
Nice.
And then you dive into the DLC, and then you really put together.
And then it does the music.
A real Hollywood trailer. Oh, dude, it's got to be.
Right? It's got to do that, right?
Yeah. Yes. And then Scarlett Johansson comes out and starts killing dinosaurs. Anyways,
what?
Have that playing, talk about how it continues, do a couple of whip sounds, and all that kind of stuff. Show this. Is it called Land of the Giants?
Or I don't know. You remember more than I did. Yeah, I think it's
called Giant something.
It's called Land O'Lakes.
Someone in the chat help us out.
Land O'Lakes butter or something like that.
I don't know, whatever.
Little
it is. I
Taylor's
can't
photo
believe it's not.
mode. Photo mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's called I can't believe it's not butter, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Either Order of the Giants, is that what it is? Little Table? Thank you.
Order of the Giants, yeah.
Order of the Giants. Okay, I knew it was
it's
with the
Odor
Giants.
of the Giants.
Odor
yeah.
of the Giants. They clearly do not wear deodorant. They just didn't have it available in their size. So I'm thinking you do that. You do the accolades of the base game, whatever. Talk about how the adventure continues. Show the trailer. Don't do it too long. Minute and a half.
Yep.
Keep it moving.
Just
something
DLC,
else I wanted to briefly talk about. Yeah, just DLC. But you want to get people. But you're also trying to sell more people on the base game.
Yeah,
right?
and keep them paying. Keep them paying that money. Yeah.
What if you have Game Pass subscribers or you have PlayStation players all watching the show who never played it? And they're like, oh, snap. I didn't realize it was an Indy Jones game. Not everybody knows what's going on out there, dude.
Yeah, and you're adding another
like, a lot of
6
people
or 8 hours to the
in,
game. Yeah.
Right. Not a lot of people are like tuned in like everybody here in the chat and everybody else. And whatever, right? Not everybody's tuned in. So like some people be watching and be going like, oh, wow, cool. You know what I mean? That looks fun. I'll go check that out. Another thing I wanted to briefly talk about is, do you think they're going to do some kind of like a Game Pass drop where they talk about like some things that just dropping in the Game Pass? Like, for example, they got Tony Hawk 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Maybe they throw something that day, maybe like a shadow drop that day. Like, oh, by the way, here's 10 Activision games that whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. People have talked about that. I was like, when they show Final Fantasy VII Remake from 2020, like, would they... Oh boy. Yeah, would they put Final Fantasy VII Remake in Game Pass? Because Square Enix put a bunch of Final Fantasy games, but Final Fantasy VII Remake is 5 years old. But I think probably not. But I don't know if they're gonna have anything that drops into Game Pass like right away. BT's like Arc Raiders. Like, would Arc Raiders drop in Game Pass?
Arc Raiders. A lot of people are talking about Arc Raiders in the chat here. A lot of people are talking about. But I think Crusader's got a point here. Crusader 7 Ether, he's saying Gears of War beta. That could definitely be a distinct possibility because that's something you might want to drop. Maybe not that day. Maybe you say, hey, listen, guys, in a week. Or maybe that day. Who the hell knows? Maybe it says, okay, we're going to do our first multiplayer beta. And then in July, open beta on Xbox and PC. July 7th, open beta or whatever, a closed beta for pre-orders on PlayStation, and then an open beta at the end of July for PlayStation, and then have cross-play beta for the first week of August before they launch. You know what I mean? For cross-platform, whatever, and just that would be a distinct possibility. I could see that absolutely happening.
Yeah, and somebody told me that as well, that they definitely need to do a beta for Reloaded. So that would be the time. When you said show Gears Reloaded and then say multiplayer beta is available right now, I'm going to switch off of this here. Multiplayer beta is available right now for Gears Reloaded, and then show Gears E-Day gameplay and say 2026. Like, that could be awesome. Another one that is on the list is, I showed the footage. You were watching the footage while we were talking about Indiana Jones, but Starfield's supposed to get the Starborn DLC shown, and that's going to be the big announcement where they announce that the game is coming to PlayStation 5. So I would expect a really brief 1-minute trailer for Starfield, like the base game, and say for the first time ever, coming to PlayStation 5, and then say, here's the Starborn DLC and explain what that is. And I won't get into that because Starfield is a very niche, at this point, it's a very niche game right now. So I won't get into that. The other wild card is it's time for ZeniMax to show their new AAA MMO. Apparently, according to the rumors, it's a sci-fi MMO. It's not anything to do with Elder Scrolls. It's a brand new IP. It's not related to Starfield. It's not a Starfield multiplayer game. It's a brand new sci-fi action adventure multiplayer game from ZeniMax Online. And I don't know what else to say other than I think it's time for them to show it. And maybe they're going to show it at the showcase. The next game I got to talk about is Blade. Is it time to show Blade? I think that game's 2027. But do you show it in 2025 or do you wait?
No. Okay. No, I wouldn't even bother. Just let it go. Just let them do their thing. We got so much to do between now and then that there's no point. There's literally no point. And we're getting such a smorgasbord from, like I said, from everybody.
Yeah.
That there's literally no time and no point in even showing the game. Just let them do their thing. As the kids say, let them cook, right? Let them do their thing. Just let them do their thing. And just go for it. And then whenever it's ready, it's ready. And that's all there is to it. There's no point in showing something that's not coming this year or next year.
Yeah, they are too packed. I heard that it's all in third person too. That's really going to make people excited because Arcane Leon has only done first person games, so I'm excited. Yeah, the big reveal.
Third party. Thank God. Thank God. I want to see Blade. I want to see Blade's cape. I want to see, like, you know what I mean? I want to see him in action, like walking around, doing his thing, pulling guns
especially
out,
with melee.
his sword over the top, right?
Yeah,
the melee with the sword, pulling the sword over the top. Like, come on, man. I need to see that.
So,
anyway.
The big shocking reveal that some believe, it's not a leak, is that it's time for Xbox to show Elder Scrolls 6. And a lot of people don't believe this game is ready for 2027 or 2028 or 2030 or whatever, but it would be a big moment to close the show out with Elder Scrolls 6. And I personally feel, just my personal opinion, I personally feel like they've got enough to actually show us in-engine proof of life of Elder Scrolls 6. And what you're looking at here is a bunch of overly modded Skyrim footage that I did for a video I put out like 2 months ago. But I think it's time, and I believe, it's not any type of leak crap, but I really feel like Elder Scrolls 6 is set for holiday 2027. But knowing Bethesda, it's probably going to launch closer to 2028, or maybe it does hit 2027. But this is going to be a defining moment in gaming to finally see, after 12 years, see the next Elder Scrolls game in Creation Engine 2 with the visuals that I love of Starfield in a fantasy world. Hopefully, I think that when they show Elder Scrolls 6, Mag, that people are going to be like, oh my gosh, it looks fantastic. And then there's going to be the camp that's like, oh my gosh, Todd Howard doesn't know how to do it anymore. It's going to be so mid. Oh, it's going to be woke. It's going to make a type A, type B body. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to be so many loading screens like they always do. But I think the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be so good. I can't wait. And we need something like this.
Can you do me
Lotus
a favor?
Spree says coming 2057. Yeah.
Can you not imitate me live on the air anymore, please?
Those
are all the those are the things I say. Anyways, Avi J in the chat here says, Mag just says no to everything, man, so boring. Well, guess what? Today is your lucky day, my friend, because I'm about to say yes. I'm about to say yes. Elder Scrolls 6 needs it. Yeah. Just say yes. Just say yes.
Say yes to the dress, Mag.
Yeah, say yes to the dress. Well, never mind. I was going to make a joke. Anyways, it's the month for it. Anyhow, what was I going to say? What? I didn't say anything. That wasn't me. That was you.
That was me.
That was Colteastwood, ladies and gentlemen. That was not me.
Love it.
He threw his voice like a ventriloquist psychopath.
You can't get canceled anymore. That stuff doesn't happen anymore. It's over.
No, it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, we're good.
No, different world. Different world.
All right, go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
This is what I'm thinking. No, not at all. You are riding really high off the popularity and massive success of Oblivion. You need to strike while the iron is hot, because right now, Oblivion, almost by itself, I'm not kidding, just completely jacked the Microsoft gaming division up by 5%, almost single-handedly. I read a business report about it, saying that, yes, there were other games that were obviously a factor in there, but they said nothing came close to what drove the 5% growth in the Microsoft gaming department than the success of Oblivion. Oblivion almost single-handedly did this. Not even Expedition 33, right? Or Doom.
And no one thought that Oblivion... No one thought that Oblivion remaster would be all that great of an impressive thing, but
yeah, and those other games are fantastic. I love South of Midnight, loved it. 8.5 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, great game. Doom, we'll get into that when I drop my review tomorrow.
Nice.
My marinated review is actually ready for tomorrow. And then, of course, we had Expedition 33, most likely game of the year, stuff like that. But funnily enough, Oblivion is what moved the needle more than any other game. So that being the case, folks, why would you miss an opportunity to not show Elder Scrolls 6 at the end of the show and just give people one of these? Just a little like that. Just give them a little glimpse and just let them see it. And then you just go, holy crap, holy. And then you just go to black. And you don't even say when it's coming out. Just show it. Just show that it's coming.
Oh, man, but that would piss off people so much
because
they were like, Elder Scrolls in 2018. Yeah.
But you damn well know it's two plus years away. You know it, and I know.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's 2.5
DeMarco
years
knows
minimum. DeMarco knows it. Xbox's King knows it. 78
Jamel
knows it. Matt Cullen even knows it. Everybody's like, call my name, call my name, call my name, call my name. Brothers Grimm knows it.
78 Incorporated knows it.
Yeah, exactly. I just call him 78 Inc. That's what the hip kids on the street call it.
Tugger
so anyways, you got to strike while the iron's hot, dude. You got to do it. You got to do it. You cannot miss this opportunity. If I have to walk to Redmond and start slapping people around and be like, guys, what are you doing? How? Yeah. Walk in there like real angry, like you cannot miss this opportunity. Like I said, it's selling like hotcakes, bringing in tons of revenue, and you don't want to show the future of Elder Scrolls. You got to be out of your mind, bro. It has to be there. It has to be there to end the show.
It's time. It's time. What is that from? It's time.
It's time.
Oh, it's from Lion King. It's from Lion King.
Oh, from Lion King. Oh, yeah. Name, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's like holding him up, yeah. The baboon.
Yeah. What did you call me?
Rafiki. There you go. Thank you, Green Ninja. I couldn't remember his name. I was like, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Rafiki. Yeah, he was the dopest character in that entire movie.
Xbox is King says, I got a feeling that Elder Scrolls is a launch title for next gen. Probably. Yeah, because Xbox is going to launch in 2027. And I think that's probably where
Fall
they're
of
trying to
27.
land it.
Yeah. That makes that makes absolute sense.
DeMarco dude says a lot of people say that Creation Engine sucks, but then they see what people can do with it when they modify it and make it look incredible. Like they make 2011 Skyrim look like a 2020s game with lots of mods.
I love that. I love that.
I know people don't love Starfield, but the game is gorgeous when you get to locations that aren't completely barren. Even the barren stuff can be beautiful. It's just that your character and all the gear is so finely detailed, and I just want to see that in Elder Scrolls. I think it'd be amazing.
It will be. Jamel Aldridge, relax, dude. Don't worry, it's coming. But right now, you got to play Oblivion. You got Oblivion to play for right now, and then we got other games coming. I mean, you're gonna have they're not really Elder Scrolls-ish like games because Witcher 4 is not coming for several years. That I heard, I was really disappointed.
What is it? A couple more years for Witcher 4? Like 2 more years, maybe?
They said maybe 3. That's the last I heard, and that was yesterday.
And then it's 5 to 6 for Cyberpunk 2.
At least because they just devoted, as of yesterday or the day before, they devoted an extra 100 people to the development team of Cyberpunk 2. So Cyberpunk 2 is already in active development, but they only delegated 100 people to start it because everybody else is gung-ho with Witcher 4, right? So that's going to be a whole situation. But
I did not know when I got
2067, yeah.
I did not know when I got into the games community and industry in 2007, 2008, when I got way into it, I did not know I was going to spend the rest of my life waiting 3 to 6 months for the next game. Chewing my fingernails and just being excited and that I would just remember when we were younger, you're like, I can't wait for my birthday or I can't wait for Christmas. Now I'm an adult waiting. I can't wait until Outer Worlds 2 comes out. I can't wait till Mafia, the old Borderlands 4. I can't wait till Mind's Eye comes out. Or whatever. It's such a good problem to have as a grown person. We're
it's also
Meg, you say no to everything, but you are absolutely loving this bevy of games that is pouring into the front of your pants.
Sure I am.
Non-stop.
Dude, I'm playing in front of my pants. I'm playing games that are out now, like new games, and I'm going back and I'm playing my backlog
Same.
at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm playing right now, which is actually quite shocking. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I've done Doom 1.5 times, one without achievements, one with achievements, but I only got about halfway through with.
Okay.
That was all I needed for the review, because I'm like, I'm not finishing it twice. But I'm playing. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Dragon Age Veilguard. I got it for free.
Oh, you know what?
It's actually not that bad, dude.
It's
It's not
really
that bad.
beautiful, and that combat is so fun. Those
combat is
characters
good.
just aren't great, but
No,
gosh,
I don't give a shish kebab about the characters. That's like me playing, like it's like me with that woke ass what's it called, the Saints Row. You think I listened to a minute of that baloney dialogue, dude? I held down the
pig on Toy Story when he's like, skip. That was
Rest in peace, Norm. That was Norm, eh?
Oh, that was Norm.
Cheers.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, it was Norm. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
buddy. I was holding down the skip button for every single cutscene, but I got to tell you, I got the gist of what's going on in Dragon Age Veilguard. I got it for free. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, it was free on PlayStation Plus.
Oh,
They gave the whole game.
Oh, yeah,
they
that's
gave
right.
the whole game away for free.
Dude,
so I
it's
downloaded
a pretty
it.
game,
And I'm like,
isn't it?
it's actually not bad. I'm about 10 or 15 hours in, something like that. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Another backlog game I'm playing is the Ubisoft game.
Do some
you know, the Prince of
push-ups.
Persia. Yeah.
Yeah, do a couple bards or whatever. It's barves.
The Prince of Persia game, you know, the Metroidvania one that they released a couple, like last year or whatever it is. What a dope ass game, man. I can't put it down.
Yeah,
it is so good.
I didn't finish it,
and I'm
though.
really enjoying that. So I'm playing new stuff, old stuff. I'm having a good time. New school, old school. Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Lotus Free says Saints Row 2020 is Saints Row 2020 is awesome. It is, and Meg and I just skipped the cutscenes because that world was so fun to play in and customize your gear and your character and your cars and stuff. It was, and
I loved
the gunplay was great,
fun as hell. The gunplay, the driving, everything was great in that game. It's just I couldn't listen to a minute of those characters.
Cringy millennials.
Oh God, I couldn't listen to 1 second of it, and I'm just like, skip. Percolator 9000, you scumbag! You finally decided to join the chat right at like the 2-hour mark when we're done the show. Unbelievable, dude. Where the heck have you been for the entire night? Either way, Perk, hit me up tomorrow, dude. I'll be floating around somewhere.
Hey, it's time. Yeah. It's time for a zero sugar Mountain Dew. No, not Mountain Dew. I mean root beer.
I am drinking Michelob Ultra this evening. I'm keeping it nice and light tonight.
This past week, every time I saw an ad for White Claw, I just started laughing, thinking about how we were joking around last week with you.
Oh God, yeah.
That was
but
great.
Last week I was literally drunk on the air.
It's the only way to be for Matt.
I was fine for like the first hour and a half. Then I don't even remember the last 30 minutes of the show because we were so involved in the conversation, and I was drinking Buffalo Trace Kentucky whiskey, only the finest. And I'm drinking it, and I'm like drinking. And I don't think I realized how much I actually drank. It was like a jazz moment. And all of a sudden, by the last 30 minutes, I don't even remember the last 30 minutes of the show. I was gonzo. So yeah. And then the 20 minutes you and I talked after that. So this week, see, Dove in the chat's got it. He already said it, a jazz moment. Dude, Michelob Ultra, I'm keeping it light, nice and easy tonight. Nice and easy. I got to go to the dentist again. Anyways.
Yeah.
So anybody have anything in the chat? Anybody else have any ideas? Just send them out there before we sign off for the evening. We just want to know what you guys are looking forward to most for this big showcase coming up, and what you'd like to see, and what you're excited to play next. And should we put up a poll?
Yeah, let's put up a poll right now.
Hold on.
Does it let you do it, Meg? You can write it up.
No, I can do it, but I want you to do this. Okay. I want you to do this for me.
Okay, wait. Whisper
put
so
up
they
a
can't.
Poll and ask.
Hold on, you guys. Earmuffs. Meg and I are talking. Go ahead,
guys. Cover your ears. Adults are talking. Colt,
I told you not to put it in there. Go ahead.
I just see it. Put up a poll and ask if they would like me to stream all of Mind's Eye.
Bro. Okay, hold on. Do you prefer Mag with no pants? Do you want Mag?
Oh, that's a goal. Hey, well, we're already halfway there, folks.
Is that what you're calling it these days? Your Mind's Eye?
Yeah. The winking eye.
The
What movie was that from?
the Eye of Sauron.
Oh no,
Here's
the whispering eye. The whispering eye. Sorry, the whispering eye. That was from.
What's that from?
It was from. It was from not Step Brothers. Role Models. The movie.
Okay.
Where like, what's his name? Damn it! What the hell was his name? He was from Superbad.
Andy.
The guy with the fake ID. The guy with the fake ID. McLovin.
McLovin
was in there, and then one of the guys is on the phone, like trying to make up with his girlfriend, and like McLovin's there. He goes, "Tell her you love her whispering eye." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Like, I love your whispering eye," and they all burst out laughing. What the hell's a whispering eye? He goes, "It's a vagina. It's a vagina," and they all just burst out laughing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
42 votes already. Holy crap.
Yeah, and it looks like you're going to be streaming that sucker. We got one last super in here. Super Saiyan Gaming, thank you so much for the 5. Says, my bet, Outer Worlds 2, Fable, Gears E-Day, Ninja Gaiden 4, Spyro 4. I didn't even mention Spyro 4 on the show. I had it on the screen.
Spyro 4?
Spyro 4 is like, apparently it's probably real. That's all I can say.
I
mean, it's not all I can say. It's all I'm going to say because I don't know. I've just heard the same crap anybody else would say. So, yeah, apparently Toys for Bob's game is Spyro. It's not Crash Bandicoot. I don't know. Why do we even need Spyro? Double Fine, he says, Clockwork, Battlefield. Yeah, Battlefield could totally be there. The new Battlefield reveal could be at Xbox show because they're not doing their own show.
I could see that as being sort of like not very self-serving considering they own Call of Duty and Call of Duty is their direct competition. Right? So,
Yeah,
and then
that's
Battlefield
true.
is being run. I mean, Battlefield is being run by Zampella, and it's not coming this year. So it's going to be next year. So next year's Call of Duty is literally going head to head with Zampella's Battlefield. That is going to be like
a blood moment,
slobber knocker. Oh, dude, that's going to be a Thrilla in Manila. That is going to be a rumble in the jungle.
I think slobber knocker means something different over here in the States. I think you meant
either way. It's going to be a rumble in the jungle.
It's
going to be a Thrilla in Manila.
Absolute.
It's going to be throwing haymakers.
Bloodbath.
Dude, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Guy.
And Zampella is a savage.
He's going
you
for
think
blood.
He's gonna, dude. He will literally cut through the Xbox marketing team like John Wick, with a handgun
like a
and
knife
2
through
blades.
hot butter.
Yeah, Zampella's a savage. That guy's working on Battlefield and Jedi 3 at the same time. Like, holy, like cannoli. Is this guy working hard?
Holy Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Gaming also lists out Ark Survival 2, which has been MIA for 3 years. Nice.
Yes, it has.
Nice promise you gave to come out in the next 12 months. The Elite 3 controller. Oh, man, I mean, I guess they could show that at the event.
I don't see, no, not at a showcase. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to show hardware showcase like a controller. I think that's the kind of thing they just do on the side.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna want to reserve this time. Like I said, you got to remember who you're marketing to now. You're marketing to Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and somewhat Nintendo Switch too.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a rat's arse about a very expensive controller during a games showcase.
Yeah, which
Not,
is
I
now
said during a game showcase. I'm being very specific.
Plus the Elite, the controller's got like a $50 price bump, or the Elites did, or $30 price bump, or something.
Did you see the SSD add-on that they're it's only $449. I'm like, oh, is that it, sister?
Oh my God,
mad?
it cost the console.
Are you crazy?
Oh, how big is it?
God.
Oh, it's this big?
$449 US.
I'll tell you what,
like, bro, I could buy a Kia for that.
I was so wrong. I was so wrong back in 2021, 2022-ish era, or 2020. Yeah, I said that Xbox had a really great option there. You don't have to pop open your console. I was so wrong. That SSD is so overpriced. 4 terabytes. You can get a really excellent 4 terabyte NVMe piece of stick of gum for your PC or your PS5 for $320 for 4 terabytes.
Or when you're done a game and you're never going to play it again, you could just remove it from the hard drive and download another one. I've been doing for decades. Like, what are we talking about here?
But I keep a trimmed collection of games on my Series X. I have the internal one and the external 1 terabyte SSD, and I'm 96% full because there's a couple games I keep on there to play with my kids. Sea of Thieves, Grounded. I keep Call of Duty on there. Sure. Yeah, and it's full.
Call of
Both
Duty,
of them are full. So
yeah, I got Call of Duty is always a standard on my Xbox console. Yeah. I always have it there because if someone just hits me up, I'm like, it's always there, right? So that's 200 gigs right there.
Yeah, that's like right half of your SSD. Right? So, yeah. I got to read the rest of this. He says Call of Duty 2027, a Blizzard game, some indies, and a PC to Xbox port. Yeah, that's a good list there. I don't know. We have. Am I still on just me? Yeah, sorry about that. I was on like speech mode there. This is a weird week because the news the news kind of come in quiet. No leaks are probably going to happen. Summer Games Fest will come out, and then the Xbox Showcase. And I am going to be covering this stuff, but I have two videos for my channel in the works, in the pipeline, and I don't often have that, and I'm really super excited about them. One is a surprise documentary style video about a year in gaming and pop culture. I'm really excited about this video. It's really, really cool. And another one is just some really awesome stuff that'll probably get added to once we get the announcements from Keeley and the Xbox Showcase. So I'm really excited to get that content in the works from my channel. And Mag has been totally just cranking out content. Like every time I turn up Twitter, Mag's like, new video. And
I mean, they're not long and they're not like heavily produced, but I mean, it's just me talking, doing my thing or whatever. And I got my badass music in the background, this and that. But like, man, I've been cranking it. Like the content, like last week, I did 2 videos last week, 3 podcasts in 1 week. That was last week. And I'm just like, no, sorry, 3 videos and 3 podcasts. Last week. I was just like, by the end of the last week, I was done. And that's on top of my work, right? So like I'm doing all that and it was but it's so awesome and I love it. And then that's what pushed me over the top for getting monetized and all that stuff. Cause my videos really got a lot of traction last week. And then people are going back and watching my other videos, right? So now I'm doing quite well. So I'm very happy with that, but not going to stop. And I have a lot of future plans in the works of different things I'm going to be doing. But either way, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this again next week, because by next week at this time, we're going to know everything that already happened. So we will have a plethora of things to talk about next Monday, won't we?
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be really good. We really appreciate everybody being here. We had over 700 people watching the show. Thanks everybody for checking it out. Share the link out to people who want to go back and watch everything. Meg and I tried to cover it all. It's been a really, really, really fun adventure, and I'm glad. Xbox has been through a lot, but man, are they making a ton of games. It's been awesome. Hold on, something just came in. Phil Spencer just messaged me.
Uh-oh. Make the face, Colt, make the face.
No. Hold on.
Thank
Dova
you,
says,
are
either of you going to do a live stream watch party for the Xbox Game Showcase? I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to live stream the showcase because it'll take away from you trying to watch it and me trying to watch it. But I'll probably do something post show, and Mag and I will do the show on Monday. So I'll get that all figured out, and I'll get that announced.
Like a lot of people ask me the same thing, and they're like, are you going to live stream the show? And then I'm like, well, probably not. I mean, I could. I have the ability to do so. But there's like 8 million other channels all doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And most of those people watching even those other ones are the same people that watch us. So I'm like, there's no point in just diluting the already overfilled pond full of fish, you know? The only time I would actually do that to be like, all right, listen, I'm doing my own thing, is if I had like 1 million subs. If I had like 1 million subs or 500,000 subs, then you've got your own army, right? So you do your own thing. But I think at this point, we're just diluting each other's work at that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd rather just sit there, watch the damn show, absorb it, just like I do my reviews. And we'll have marinated reviews for you next Monday, folks, once it all sinks in and when we have time to think about it and say, hey, how did that all work out? And then off we go, right? And then
Yeah,
we'll
this
have,
is going to be.
like I said, sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? Sleep on it, and then you figure it out. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah, this year's
that was
really
great,
different
or-
because I couldn't go to. They canceled it for COVID and stuff like that. And this year I'm not going because my daughter's graduation is Friday night, and then the show is on Sunday. So getting to LA would be just. It just doesn't work.
And I'm renovating. I got renovations on my house this year. I can't do it. I got to be there. I got to be there. I'm not doing all the work, but like there are people coming, like teams coming to do like random things. Like I got to be here for it. So I couldn't get away this year. This year is focused entirely on the house. And
I would have loved to go and support the watch party and everything, but it takes 8 hours to leave my house and get to the hotel in LA. It's just a ridiculously long day, and trying to fit that in with family stuff. Now I think it's better that I stay home. But yeah, that's it. I'm hungry and tired, and Meg got to go to the bathroom. I didn't, so
I had to go so bad.
I know.
Ryan Hodgson says, "Why don't you react to Rand reacting?" So we'll have a double reaction video, and I could just make fun of Rand's reaction live on the air of the actual reaction. Dude, that is some meta stuff right there. Let's do that.
Yeah. Rand's busy reading. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, everybody.
I'm excited. Enjoy it, everybody. Celebrate it. Yeah. Meg, let's get out of here.
Let's go. Everybody enjoy the show. Everybody have a great time. We'll see you guys all next week.
All right. See you guys. Have a good one. Hit the like button, you sapsuckers. That's probably a term I'm not supposed to use anymore.